So swole that I can't get the shit closed. So I money fold and rub and when it pop.
He's running forever, or just a season like?
Well, before we did one week.
I know, but I mean like once a month for ever, or once a month for like 4 months.
Oh, no.
So I money fold and rubber band.
Hey, we're on live. So do they have to pay now? Like, do they force them to pay?
Yeah,
Oh wow, be a good relationship.
that's what I mean.
We are here live, Wrestling with Rip Rogers. Live, live, Wrestling with the Rip Rogers live. Ask Rip Rogers live, whatever you want to call this show. We're coming off our biggest week we've ever had, Rip. Last week, I think we had like 70-some people watching at one time.
Oh,
Pretty wild, huh?
Okay, cool.
Okay, cool. Okay. Huh. Oh, shit. What happened there?
I don't know. It was the greatest thing ever. And now you disappeared.
Yeah, there we are. We're back.
Now we're back on Rip Rogers Live.
Let's see. What do we got here? Buckshot Kid in the house. In green, George Jessen in the house. Rip looks like Randy Savage there, he said. Sounds like him too.
Oh, okay.
What else we got here? Good morning, gentlemen. Clayton in the house. Hey, Clayton, you're gonna be on here today. I got a little clip to put of Clayton. I'm gonna call it the comment of the week, man. Clayton had the best comment I saw on YouTube on our channel this week. Man, it was awesome. Wait till I pull this thing up. I think the sound is being picked up from the PC, not the mic. All right, let me check that out. Could be right.
Who said that? Buckshot Kid?
Yep.
Well, I knew he's sort of like on the production crew, ain't he? Or maybe he is a production crew.
He's right too.
All right. Shit, I can't even see.
How's that sound? Is that any better, Buckshot Kid? Is that
I can't see.
man, Buckshot Kid? Good thing he's our at-home producer, at-work producer, wherever he's at right now, producer.
It's a good thing he's in green too.
And he's in green. We made him do that. We forced him.
We forced him. Uh-oh. A lot of things have happened with force.
Wait, I don't think your mic's on at all. Your mic's not on at all.
It is now, isn't it? Did you just turn it on?
Now it's on. Rip's mic's on. I'm on.
All right. Don't get any better than this. Fix my
All right, Buckshot Kid. Show him your show him what you got going on.
Wait a minute.
Oh, see now, yeah.
No, I'm like Vaughn Lilas. I just tuck all that stuff underside, and then now I look like a different guy, you know.
Tucking it. What else we got in here? Happy Groundhog Day. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Hey, guess who said gentlemen?
Big Al. I skip Big Al.
Big
Al. What's up, buddy?
He had to say gentlemen.
Gentlemen, Big Al. Toby Ortman in the house. What's up, man? Visvex in the house. New Dark Side of the Ring. Burt Prentice's casting couch.
Well,
You haven't seen that?
no.
Stephen Keys says his keys. I never know which one it is. I think he's told us before, and I've missed it. Hey, you're going to be you're featured a little bit on here today too, Stephen. Actually, I'll just show part of that right now, and I'll bring up the rest when Seven gets here. Stephen Keys bought a shirt, Rip. He bought a shirt. We got a little shirt money today.
All right.
Courtesy of Stephen there.
It don't get any better than that, does it?
Sure doesn't. It was really nice. Good to have there. So thank you, Stephen, for that. Incognito, Rip. No.
That means in disguise.
In disguise. Rip is in disguise today. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I got my my Car Shield new jacket.
Your sponsor?
Yeah, from Dave Marquez. You know, my stepson Dylan, he got it for me. Took it off, gave it to me because my other one kept ripping, and one before that I had for 15 years. Bought from the thing by Crossroads Gym in Seymour, the welfare play. I got had that for $3. Had the hole in the back and everything. Somebody stole that, or I left it somewhere. Hell, I can't remember. But now I got the Car Shield gimmick right here.
Looks great. Sponsored by Car Shield. Awesome. Actually, don't we're not. So in case YouTube.
No, it's just a free jacket. I mean, by Car Shield.
But if they wanted to, that'd be fine with me. Heavy D in the house in green. Also, I'm usually at work, and it's a little bit of the podcast and lunch. I'm off work today for all the wrong reasons. Rip always cheers me up. Well, that's good. I mean, it's not good maybe that you're off work for the wrong reasons, but it's good. Somebody like Rip Rogers can cheer you up, though, man.
Well, you know what it is? He likes a younger, more attractive, fit man that can talk shit, talk dirty, get down and dirty.
I think it's all that positivity you put out there.
Yeah, I am sort of like Mr. Rainbow, Mr. Positivity, Mr. Thinking Plus, not negativity.
That's just how I would typically describe you to people. Don't forget today at noon, Rip, we got a big guest coming in right here in the studio. We're gonna have to make room.
That's
have
7.
to figure it out. That is
Kevin
is
Fertig.
Kevin Fertig, 7, Thorn, Kevin Thorn, Mordecai, all kinds of names.
He got a lot of names.
Got a lot of names.
Well, I remember each girl used to give him a special name, and they usually called him Big in front of it, whatever the next nickname was.
I think he was always married, so I think you got him confused with somebody else.
Oh no, no, oh no.
He'll be on at noon in this studio today. He might be even a little early, he told me. So he called me. He's all excited. Can't wait to make it a live appearance here at Lilas Studios. And
he's one of the top realtors in all the world, I heard.
In all the world, yeah.
But I've been sort of like Dutch saying I heard. So, you know, it could be there and it could not be there.
Sure
so what the hell,
sure
right?
That's the same, but you didn't say I heard. So you just said he was.
Oh.
But he'll be here, so excited for that. What are you going to talk about today, Rip? I don't see any questions yet.
Well, I thought the big thing was we got all these people here because we're on live at Ask Rip Rogers Live, and I think I need everybody's opinion of whether of Vincent Kennedy McMahon now. Are they still in his corner, or are they against him? Are they down on wrestling? Are they for, or now they even more excited about wrestling, or whatever? So if, you know, we got all these people here lined up, or it's the Buckshot, or it's Toby, or it's Visvex, Stephen Keys, Toby, going down the line here, Clayton. Just what's your opinion on Vince? Something short and no big ramble or nothing, because we can't be on here 22 hours or anything. Oh, I'm supposed to talk louder?
Yeah, dude,
oh,
God,
talk,
man.
Oh, well, I got to
pretend we're like doing a wrestling promo almost.
Oh,
yeah.
Well, I'm gonna do like Jake the Snake, and I'm gonna talk real soft, so you have to strain to hear me.
It's not good for our TV.
I mean,
we got a new member.
Hey, new member.
G3333333
ball.
Nice, thanks, man.
A YouTube. Hey, don't get any better than that. So
yeah, so just in case you couldn't hear Rip in his low voice, Rip wants your comments right now. Comments on the Vince McMahon situation, short and sweet. Your thoughts, a couple sentences or so. Whether you think he's guilty, innocent, in between,
or was he led down the destructive path because some girl looked him up, stalked him, basically pleading she had no job, she had no money. What could she do to make some money? And then he provides her with all this money, and she turns turncoat. I can't believe it. He was thinking, I could tell he was thinking about a real relationship.
Now, this is all your opinion right now.
Yeah,
just all opinion. Yeah.
Well, everybody's opinion. You're allowed to have one, like
sure.
a belly button and an asshole, right?
Yeah.
This is just my strictly opinion. If you don't like it, well, do whatever, or I'm not asking you to watch anyway. So stick it wherever if you don't like it. Or I could turn on to your show, right? Yeah. Then I could knock you for anything you say.
Well, a lot of people, to be fair, most people in the comments, which I got to just probably quit reading the comments. I kind of do it because we got loyal listeners, and I like to reply, especially if people are in green, so I try to.
Yeah, they support us, and let's support them. And
the Vince thing had tons of comments, and you know, some people totally bashed us. A lot of people were for us for the video. We had some just off the wall shit about, I don't know, lawsuits and stuff that I just deleted. So everybody can have an opinion. So yeah, that's it, man.
Yeah, McAfee was getting some heat. Now they big run the big crawl on the show. This is just an opinion of those working there, and it's basically not to be taken serious or not trying to persuade you or anything like that. But all they're doing is, how's the weather out? Oh, it's fine. Oh, it's not fine.
Yeah.
How do you feel today? I feel great. You don't feel great. Holy moly. Can I have an order of fries, please? Oh, now you want more fries. It's too many fries. It's not enough fries. They're overcooked. They're undercooked. What's this world coming to? Look, my son Dylan Boston gave me a haircut.
Man, that's
now why did he give me the haircut?
I don't know.
Because my hair kept coming into my mouth all the time. I'd try and eat something, and there'd be
you can't say that because usually you come in here and say, I don't ever eat. I starve. I don't have food. I can't afford food.
Well, I can't.
Oh, but yeah, your hair gets in it when you eat. Come on, you got to pick. You got to pick which one. Are you starving to death, or are you chewing on your hair? Which is it?
I can't Henry Marvin, and I am starving. And when I eat something, I am so hungry that it gets my mouth and it starts to swallow. You got to pull it out and everything.
Rip's beard looks like he joined ISIS, Clayton said. I probably shouldn't say that. YouTube's probably got that as some word that you're not supposed to say. What's ISIS? Yeah. George Jessen.
Meet George.
What was Johnny Ace like in the 80s and 90s, Rip?
Oh, my God. I had one of his first matches. It was with me, and I think it was me and George South or George South.
Yeah, we just reviewed that. It's not out, but me and you reviewed it last week. Remember?
Was he under the hood?
Yeah.
Yeah, against Johnny Ace and Shane Douglas. When they come out with the skateboards and stuff. Mm-hmm. Well, no offense, Johnny was like a dorky guy. He was just tall and like uncoordinated. He looked uncoordinated because Shane was so good. And but anyway, whatever it is, he done quite well for himself. Quite well, making a whole lot of money, being relevant in the business. He's had a hell of a life. What did again? What is he?
And now it's over.
Yeah. Well, what the hell, right?
So I saw somewhere because he is in these alleged reports or whatever. Somebody I saw came out and said that Johnny Ace was like a big player back in the day, big man whore. Do you know anything about that, Rip?
Well, let's just put it this way. He was in the WWE. He was a big shot. So he's got money and he's got power. So he could give any hot girl, model, whatever they wanted to do. He had the power to give them a job. So I know what I'd be doing if I had his power like that. So and for all you guys out there, don't be talking shit. You would too, because you're all human and you're ruled by that thing between your legs, and such as money and power.
All right,
it's called being human.
It wasn't my question, though. So back in the 80s and 90s, he didn't have power. He wasn't Vince's right-hand man. So did you know anything about him with the ladies in the 80s and 90s was kind of where we were going?
Before he got a position of power, no.
Okay. Because I've heard on other podcasts now where people have said that he was always a big after the women.
Well, he was a young guy on nationwide television. What girl, they see a TV star. They see like a movie star, somebody that's.
No, I'm saying he was, not that people were after him. I'm saying he was the. I know you're flipping it. You're flipping it.
Oh,
but I'm saying, I mean, you're not gonna just answer yes or no, or I don't know. I guess.
Oh, okay.
I've asked this question 3 times.
Whatever the question is, I don't know.
Okay.
That'll be all my answer. I don't know.
Well, it doesn't have to be all your answers. I just don't know.
I don't know.
You could just maybe answer
I don't know
the question, or at least attempt to answer the actual.
Well, I was
question.
trying to.
No, you were setting it up. I know exactly what you're doing. You're setting it up.
Oh, you know exactly
what
I was
seeking him out because he's on TV.
That's right.
He's a wrestler.
That's right.
All that kind
of stuff. And that's the way it is.
Which I don't doubt that they're definitely. I mean, I grew up a huge Kiss fan.
Okay.
And I've heard all the stories that they didn't have to look very hard.
No, they didn't have to look at all.
And I'm sure a lot of that was the same in the wrestling business.
And the star was named Gene Simmons.
Gene Simmons, yeah.
Gene Simmons. If I was him, I'd be wearing that makeup all day, strutting around outside, just watching 199 girls chasing after him because he was over, baby.
Yeah, I mean, I guess my thing is that I don't doubt that. Maybe I don't know about Johnny Ace, but I'm sure women there were, rats as they were called back in the day. We're always there and available. Groupies, if you're, we're a rock star, whatever you want to call them, we're always there, ready to go and available. I guess the thing is, times have just changed, Rip. I don't know. It's just like now I don't know. Just can't do it anymore, I guess. Not to compare Vince. I'm not comparing Vince and saying she was that's not what I'm saying. I don't know the facts. So,
well, if you knew the facts, and then you would state your opinion, and then you would offend somebody.
well, true, yeah.
And then, how is it? Oh, whatever it is. I don't know. It's okay. Whatever anybody likes, whatever floats your boat, and whatever. Oh, everything's okay. Everything's peachy keen.
Hey, are you glad you were in the wrestling business when you were and not now?
When I first got in the wrestling business was awesome. It's not anymore.
Right. So are you glad you were?
I'm glad I got to experience the territories. I'm glad I got to learn different styles. I'm glad you would go and stay somewhere about a year or whatever like that, and then you'd move on, and you might meet a guy 10 years later. That's like I did with Scotty McGee. I met him in Tampa. Then years later, I meet him in Calgary, and we start telling stories about this and that, and what are they like in this territory. And you would compare it to somebody else or some other wrestler or some other program you were in. And it was just a great business, because you come into every new territory, and there'd be a whole new group of guys you get to know, and you would bond with them. And there's people you'd still be talking to today unless you or them ain't croaked.
All right, I'm going to ask that a different way.
Okay.
Going with the female perspective, and are you glad you were in the wrestling business back then, where you could go town to town and meet up with females and not have to worry about the internet and reports? Even if you weren't doing anything wrong, but you could still just, hey, she wants you, you want to do that, and then it's just all right.
No, the best part was getting paid and walking outside, and there'd be a whole shitload of girls waiting for the A, the main eventer, B, the semi-main eventer, and then all of a sudden they make their choices, and all of a sudden there's still 27 girls waiting at the door, and all you got to do is give one the nod, and all of a sudden they come chasing with you. They didn't care. They just wanted to be with some wrestler.
Yeah.
And that was the norm, and every place was the norm.
John Tucker in green says Vince has no one to blame but himself. Now, remember, these are their opinions, Rip.
Right. These are not our opinions.
You've stated some of yours. These are theirs. Clayton in green said Vince did it, no doubt. Visvec, I think it's the business as usual when it comes to these things. They have always seemed to be covering one different scandal or another.
Well, when you got to when you're just think there's only one Vincent Kennedy McMahon, and you knew he was going to fudge on payments on whatever. Hell, he made Stu Hart a payment or two, and then Stu reopened. He did the same thing to Mike LaBelle when he was supposed to make payments to buy out Mike LaBelle in the Los Angeles territory, and then made a payment or two, and then he fudged on that too. So VKM has got a history of making somewhat payments and then acting like you don't exist.
Opinion Haver in the house. What's up, man?
He's from California, and he knows everybody there.
He knows everybody in
California.
He says, this is in quotes too. He's in green too. Him and Michael Costello, the two longest loyal members of this show, says Vince McMahon killed the business I love. That's a quote. It says from Rip Rogers right in front of me.
Okay. And yes, I will say it again. Vince Kennedy McMahon killed the wrestling business. He went before he was around as the head honcho at WWF or WWF or whatever the hell it was. There was about 800 guys a year in America alone that had full-time employment with in the wrestling business, and you could travel the world, meet all these people, and like all us wrestlers, we were just guys that didn't want to grow up. Hell no. Why would you want to grow up? I wanted to stay 19 and act like I'm a kid. I'm still trying to do that. My body won't let me, but I still want to do it. Wrestling was the world's greatest business at one time. Not anymore.
Robbie Morton says Vince is evil, but that girl is doing this because her money is running out. Simple.
Well, you said it all right there.
Clayton also says, I would let Vince poo on me for a few million.
Well, excuse me, but who the hell wouldn't?
Mike Myers said that your haircut is better than the haircut that Lanny gave you. I'd have to agree with that.
Well, let me see. Well, Lanny didn't give me a haircut. They had a barber do it.
Oh, they did?
They had a guy get in the ring and
why'd they do that? Why didn't they just let Lanny do it? Seems like he would want that
because
satisfaction.
No, because you got to remember when you have long hair and it gets wet and you don't know how to do it and shit. Maybe it electrocutes you to death. And
that's cool. Why you practice. That's why Vince practiced when I was in WrestleMania 23. Practiced during the day. They also practiced on Eugene. He was one of the guinea pigs. He had long hair.
Yeah, well, I guess we wasn't that smart then. So what the hell? Right?
Yeah, the business has evolved, Rip.
It's evolved.
It's evolved.
No,
they practice. They pay people to practice on them. He probably didn't want to pay anybody to practice on.
No.
G3333333 ball New and Green says Vince sounds like he may be bragging. The shit was probably age related to high priced hooker. Dumbass better send her several million something money to get her back over at the house and let young Ryder alone.
Now, can you imagine the money he's paid? The money he's paid out, and then but he couldn't pay him. He couldn't have. I had to be an independent contractor, and I couldn't get any insurance, so I had to get an extra job at UPS, where I get hit by the car and I'm crippled the rest of my life. So it all comes down to Vincent Kennedy McMahon.
See, you should turn on him then.
Yeah, I should turn on.
You should do a 180 right now.
Yeah.
Vince ruined the business and Vince wouldn't give you insurance. You should now be against Vince. Turn on him. Do it right now. Rip's going to turn right on this show. Hey, people used to turn heel and face all the time, and it meant something. This would really mean something.
Oh, Vince is such a good performer. He's the world's biggest heel, but he could, in 3 weeks, he could turn you in a heartbeat. Yeah. The man's so smart at mental manipulation of how to be a baby face and a heel. You got to give him credit for that.
Buckshot Kid said, the stories I hear just from what Rip did and talked about, it doesn't surprise me what happens in the wrestling world. So Vince probably did all of that.
Hey, Frank Picklebarrel ass is in.
Robbie Morton, it's funny that Johnny Ace is saying he's a victim too. He shouldn't just shut his mouth because Vince is probably going to settle. Now they both look guilty.
Well, who knows if that's not Johnny Ace talking. That's what his attorney says for him to say.
Yeah, I don't know that he's. I haven't seen anything Johnny Ace has said. So
hey, no matter what, Johnny Ace has had a hell of a run, man. From being the skateboarders to sort of like a dorky guy that couldn't get booked in the States.
Yeah, I get you keep saying that, but I mean, still, you don't want it just to end. I wouldn't assume this way.
Well, did you interrupt me?
Oh, yeah.
Where I was talking about him being a star in Japan. The reason he was a star in Japan is because Baba's wife liked him. So anyway, but then he's obviously a great bullshitter because he's been with WWE for years, even though he's been in and out, whatever. But he's had a hell of a career. He's had a hell of a name, and you'll be remembering John Laurinaitis till you croak on this earth. He's definitely out there making some news. That's for sure.
Oh yeah, I get it. But it's like any downfall of anybody that had a good run and famous. Is that how you really want it to end? Oh, OJ, man, he had a great run, but I mean, is that really how you want it to?
Well, I think
end. I mean,
it usually ends with something about a woman. No, right? It's something about a woman.
Not if you're Jerry Sandusky, who we just talked about before the show.
Yeah, but he liked just the.
He liked the other way.
Did he like?
Yeah, we're not talking about it.
Well, you brought it.
Well, I know,
you're the one bringing it up.
And now I'm going to kill it.
Then don't bring it up.
I can bring it up and kill it.
Oh, okay.
I know how to talk around things.
Oh, okay.
For the for the YouTube.
I never. Well, see,
I want to stay on the YouTube. I don't want to get kicked off.
Oh, you're the one that brought up Jerry Sandusky. Well,
right.
Isn't that a red flag?
I don't think just his name, maybe. But
oh well, okay.
George Jesse said Shane Douglas said that Johnny Ace was always hooking up, which I don't see anything wrong with that. Like I don't, somebody had said something like, "Oh, so and so was always trying to to hook up with people. I'm like,
You say,
You
yeah,
know what-
and what's your point?
and that's what you tried it, and that kind of.
Okay, Von Lilas is a Major League Baseball star.
Well, let's just say a wrestler.
Okay, but anything, you're successful at whatever you're at. So, and you're 6'5", 6'8", whatever the hell you are, whatever. So you're going to draw every hot girl there was because A, they like them tall, they like them athletic, they like them good looking. You fit all the bills, and I don't fit none of them. That ain't fair.
Yeah, I don't know what's wrong with really hooking up. I mean, as long as it's not some of the things that Vince is alleged to do, I still think it should be all right to like
I always
hook
thought
up with a girl, you know?
I always thought everything was fair game to begin with, between two willing
participants.
right?
Yeah.
So what the hell?
If that's the case, yeah.
Yeah,
Is that a young guy next to you, your nephew, Rip?
the
He's
guy.
calling me a young guy? Nice. 50-year-old young guy. If he's referring to me, I don't know. No, I am not Rip's nephew. I've known Rip since I was 5 years old or 4 years old or probably less than that.
Something like that.
I've got pictures of Rip when I was 4 or 5. 1977, I think, was the date of the one picture I pulled up. So
If I could have just got Aunt Carol.
Rip was almost my uncle. Maybe he was really. We have talked about that before. So maybe
God.
more people say you look like Randy Savage, man.
Eee.
Medium 5 in the house in green. Also, when I started training at Mike Sharp's, that was tail end of the good old days, so to speak. Territory's almost gone. NWA Jersey was pretty much. ECW was gaining ground. That's it.
I remember working Mike Sharp one time. We was at some spot show, and we went about 30 minutes, and it was so easy because I was it was a heel match, but he just worked babyface. So I hid the gimmick the whole time in my trunks, and so we was playing hide the sausage the whole time, and he'd load the elbow or load the whatever it was. He had his all taped up and whatever. And at the end, I dropped my gimmick, and he did the thing, and he knocked me senseless, and they carried me out. And then so I said goodbye to him. He was taking a shower, and then I forgot something. I had to come get back and get my stuff, and some bitch was still in the shower. So Mike used to take very, 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 very long showers.
I've heard many tell
So
stories.
I guess he was pretty clean though. That was always a plus.
It was weird. He was another one that was in I think Memphis or wherever I watched him that was like tough and beat people up. And then he gets on WWF and loses every match. I just couldn't figure out. I was like, man, this guy is so tough on Saturdays. Channel 3 wrestling. He can't win a match. The psychology of him was he was an early morning person. And when they was making that TV show in the morning, he was strong. But when he went to the other places, it was a house show and it was at night, and he was tired. He trained so hard, he was weak, and he sort of went on a losing streak. Makes sense.
And that's a story I'm sticking to.
Makes perfect sense. Medium 5 says, right Rip, only one Vince McMahon, and he has the money and power to do sexual acts he wants. If he finds someone to play along, almost anyone can do it.
Well, if somebody has got a whole lot of money, please contact me, and we can negotiate, and then whatever we can do can be alleged.
John Tucker, I got to skip down to this one because he's doing a $2 donation today, and he's in green. He double whammies it a lot. That's awesome.
We should have went over that ICW Open, and then I could tell you every situation.
We need to do that. He had made a comment wanting us to do it. I think it was John Tucker that asked us to do it. So I put that out. It's got like almost 2,000 views.
Yeah,
now.
that was Jack Phillips' brother, Jim Phillips. That was the guy in the gurney. I looked at that.
Okay.
You asked.
I asked.
Yeah, you asked me that question last week, and I didn't know the answer because.
Oh, maybe somebody there asked you. I don't even remember the gurney. Who was it then? Who's that?
It was Jim Phillips. He was one of the referees.
Okay.
See, their parents, they always did the concession stand in ICW, and they had the two kids. It was Jack and his little brother Jim, and little brother Jim, he fell in love with Arena Rat. I remember he punched the wall and broke his hand, and he was the ref with his hand always taped up all the time. Dumbass.
So do you know who threw the fire?
I can't see.
We'd have to look at it.
Yeah, it was probably Izzy Slapowitz. But all we'd have to do is look at it. I could say, oh, and I could tell you what, this was in Frankfort, Kentucky. This was Kentucky. This was Crusher Broomfield wrestling the Bear. This was Randy Savage jumping off the top rope, and he's got the board where he's like the mass destroyer or something. This is Bob Roop, and he was under the hood throwing Randy Savage into the cage, and that's just on and off. There's Brenda Britton and Pam Watson where they're in the mud and they had the girls' mud match, and the list goes on and on. But what that does, without even being in the body of the show, you're getting these characters over. They're showing this star and this star and this star and this star and this star, but they didn't even have a match on the show. But the first thing you see is that the ICW music, which was what the Midnight Express used later on.
Yeah, somebody asked that. So
no, we
ICW
did it.
Was first.
Yes,
right?
we was the first ones to do it, and then they used it later on. No reason to lie about it. You can look it up. But it was just a great fucking song. Yep. And Randy chose that music. Randy did all the TVs. Randy did all the production shit. He did all the booking. And then a lot of times when we would have like Crusher Broomfield come out of the box and stuff, they were angles that Garvin and Roop and Orton had done in Knoxville, but they hadn't been seen on our TV. So we would basically do the same thing, just substitute different peoples and stuff. See, when years ago, when there wasn't cable TV, it'd be like me wrestling you, and we'd go all over the world wrestling, and we could do the same thing because people hadn't seen it anywhere. But if you was on that Superstation Atlanta, which was the first one on the nationwide cable, this was before the USA Network, then once you did it there, well, they've seen it now. Now we got to keep doing more shit. But when they had the territory system, it was great. I mean, you could have a great work against each other I'd work against Adrian Street my whole life, go out there and do the same, and it would all be fresh to that area, and then we could pack up and leave and go somewhere else and work 6 months again. I know I'm rambling, but what the fuck.
Thanks, John Tucker, for the question. We'll get more into that intro at some point in time, hopefully soon. Savage liked that kind of music, man, because it was like Fame. He always it seemed like he played that.
When we was in Miss Kentucky together the first time, he posed to that music, Fame. And Randy was always into his music, smoking that dope, and he'd be singing in the gimmick voice. Please don't talk about love tonight. He'd be singing and shit with a gimmick voice.
Yeah. Frank Pickle Barrel asked, who's also in green, said, ultra rich are the worst to get paid by. Ask any house builder or construction guy. Let's see. What else we got? Jason Tax, I think it is. Good morning, folks. He's in. Paul Bosch is the only person to get over in Vince money wise before Vince could do it to him.
I don't know. At one time, Paul Bosch was the greatest payoff man I've ever seen, because he had to control of Channel 39, and then his nephew ran the business, but I'd work for him when I was working for Bill Watts. We'd work Houston, and if you go in there every 2 or 3 weeks, it'd be pretty much a sellout every time. If you go weekly, it wouldn't be as good, but Paul, you can make more money on any of Paul Bosch's payoffs than Watts would pay you.
Hey, we got a super sticker from Jason.
All right. Tax. Super sticker, baby.
Thanks, buddy. Appreciate that. Want to give me some pics and clips of Rip Fame music. Gave me an idea. All right. We'll see what we can do there. All right. Let's see if I can get where we're at. I don't know where we're at. Somebody said they thought it was Izzy Slapwitz that threw the fire.
Well, because Izzy, he used to throw it before. That's what I was wondering.
Tax. Okay. It's pronounced tax, folks.
Right. Yeah, T-A.
I know, but it's also a pronounced opinion haver, and we say haver.
Yeah,
so
just as a rib.
It's a better rib if we get it wrong every time and then try to switch it back and forth and act like we don't know what's going on. So
yeah,
just get you more exposure too there, Jason.
Hey,
what is it, Cax?
Hey, Lanny Popo's mother would give me a nickname, or Lanny did, and he would always call me. It was either Lilo or Lilo. And no matter what I said, if I said Lilo, and then Lilo. And then I'd come back the next time, and then I'd say it the other way, and I'd say Lilo. She goes, no, Lilo. So they just fucking ribbed me the whole time. And I didn't even fucking know it.
Even his mom, huh?
Yeah. And she just straight look you in the eye. and she was the
nice one,
the nice one of the Jewish ancestry or whatever. And then she was our promoter in Illinois, because you couldn't be a wrestler and hold a promotion. So the promoter was J.P. Sverdlin, Sverdlin.
Man, we got some questions. Looks like, holy cow, looks like 7 might have just pulled in. I better get to a couple things here real quick.
He better get a whole lot of things. Oh, he's coming over. Oh, I thought he was just going to do the regular
he's coming
thing.
over, man.
Holy shit!
I told you that about 100 times. He's going to be here.
Well, you probably did, but I can't remember shit. What the fuck?
ProWrestlingTees.com. Thanks to Steven. Go there, get a couple of Rip Rogers t-shirts. That'd be awesome. Go grab you a book while you're at it, even though they're not the same place. You have to go 2 different places. Look at this, Rip. We're on the road to 2,000. This morning, we're at 9,339. Look at that. I got your beard all ready to go. Road to 10,000 subscribers right here, Wrestling with Rip Rogers. Go subscribe, share this thing, whatever you need to do. Get us to 10,000. We're dying.
You're going to die?
We're going to dye Rip's beard right here.
So if I'd have shaved it, it wouldn't have been.
Don't be shaving it. We're going to dye it at 10,000.
Oh,
that'd be a good Rib. And then look at this, Rip. Next week.
A 2-year anniversary?
Next week is our 2-year anniversary.
So we've been like dating then, or what was we doing?
No, of this show.
Oh, this show. Okay.
Next week is the 2-year anniversary of wrestling. That's our first episode right there. Look at that.
Our first episode.
Very first episode right there. Look at that. Well, so we're going to celebrate.
I got the free T-shirt on. It was Rip Rogers and Lilas Studios. I so does Lilas Studios. You're on fire. You got Eugene under the Lilas Studios umbrella.
Umbrella, baby.
So you're going to have great stories with Eugene. Holy
If we could just get internet. If we could just get him to have some internet.
Well, you
great stories with Eugene coming. Doing some stuff with him. But look at this, Rip. We got the comment of the week, man. When I posted we're going to go live today, Clayton, who is a member, look at that. He's got the Mick Foley thing there. Cactus Jack, Mankind, whatever it is. I'll be there. My wife tried to make me get a job, but it turns out that I am unhireable.
Well, usually it's the other way. The woman just sits on her ass, don't do nothing. And the guy, he's got to be true blue to the woman of his dreams while she's not.
That is awesome.
And she sits at home and just eats bonbons and doesn't do anything. It's not fair.
Clayton is over with me with that comment. Here, can you?
No,
I got to go.
That. I'll just sit here and talk.
We'll talk or see if you can read any of those.
Let's okay. Well, we got all the top stars coming in. Rip, do you know a lawyer from Boone County, West Virginia? I don't think so. But then again, a lot of times I'll see somebody's face. And I remember this guy in Marmet, West Virginia, or I'll remember this guy at the Capitol Plaza Sports Center in Frankfort, Kentucky, or I remember some guy that always sat in the first row in Cape Girardeau. I remember wrestling in Cape Girardeau, Missouri. I'm walking to the ring. I got my robe on. I got my long blonde hair, looking good. And all of a sudden, some guy throws a beer in my face. Some guy throws a beer in my face. So what do? Well, I said, fuck you, motherfucker. And I went to smack that and punch him right in the nose as hard as I could. And I put my head down. So what happened like a dumbass is I punched his head, which is why I tell guys, you don't punch guys in the hard part of your head. And I broke my hand. So I broke my hand. So then I had to have a cast on. So then the other wrestler, he had to, since you're sitting there, have a cast on. He had to attack your broken hand. So I went back. I said, "Fuck this!" I went out and cut my cast off my hand because I can't go around having that shit. So now I got the gimmick hand that hurts all the time, the gimmick fingers that don't bend right or they bend too much. So anyway, that all happened in Cape Girardeau, Missouri. Some dirty, low-down, backstabbing dog hillbilly threw a beer in my face, and all I was defending myself, so I had to throw a strike at him. But then, like the dumbass, like guys do in wrestling, they put their head down, so I broke my hand. So whoever that was, poop on you. I better not say poop or anything like that because that's a dirty word, it seems like, every day. I don't want to say anything about it, but somebody, whatever you do in behind closed doors, and it's all alleged, this and that, I guess it's okay as long as between two consenting adults. That's all that matters. So if you're in your underage, let's not do that right now. And if you're an old, I don't want to say perv, so I won't say that. I just know if you're a good wrestling fan, you're right here on Wrestling with Rogers, with Rip Rogers Live, Wrestling with Rip Rogers Live, and you're all the top stars. Let me see. Rip, ever see Randy or Lanning dancing? Who was the best? That's a really good question, because as a dancer, Lanny was he would always dance effeminately, and and you'd start laughing, and then he was just trying to wind you up. Let's just say it was a little shirt lifterish, but what the hell, right? And then when Randy was when Randy would start moving or just bobbing his head or whatever, he was so paranoid about everything. He'd go, "Hey, Randy, that hot girl's looking at you. Oh no, she's sizing me up and she's making fun of me. And there's her boyfriend too, so he's going to want to fight me." So in other words, it was somebody else's fault. So no matter what, Randy's the only guy that gets so mad, so pissed off about everything in life, nothing in the life. And I said, "Randy, as usual, all you want to do is fight, and it's usually for no reason." So as Lanny is a dancer, let's just say it was quite effeminate, and could get the blood down your pants there, I guess, if you was somewhat not normal. But when Randy, when he would dance, he was just wanting to fight you anyway. So no matter what, he was the macho man, and win, lose, or draw, he'd probably fight you. So I've been here holding up the storm, because we got all these special guests flying in from all over the world. I heard we got this guy. I think his nickname was 8, or it was 6 or 9, and then he had a whole bunch of names, different characters. One of them was Mordecai or something like that. Oh yeah, no, it was 7.
Hey, here was the question, maybe.
What was that?
Tape in Huntington?
No, we did it.
That already?
No, I can't see that. No, I didn't tape in Huntington. We did some taping in Marmet, West Virginia, which was right outside. See, we had the TVs. We had the Beckley, West Virginia TV, WOAY, and then it stopped right at Charleston and Huntington. So we lost those 2 big towns. But we would have the Lexington TV, the Hazard TV, the Johnson City TV, right there in the Eastern Tennessee, Eastern Kentucky area, and part of West Virginia. But we didn't exactly hit that. But no, it was the WOAY TV in Oak Hill with Shirley Love. Yeah, that was the first match I ever had, was in Beckley, West Virginia, at the WOAY studio. I'm on fire. There's 7. God damn, you're a big motherfucker. I guess you always was big, but slim and none. Slim and none. Hell, I think about 7. He was always well endowed, and he used to put the sock down there in class. And he didn't have much length, but the girth was quite healthy, and then the vascularity of the Wia's arm, it was great too. So I think he's going to slide in here. I got my coffee's empty. I can't. And then I'm going to change microphones, and I'm going to be surrounded by 6'6" Vaughn Lilas and 6'5" 3/4 Kevin Thorn, who just flown in, and he's one of the greatest realtors in all the world, and Carmel. So what the hell, right? But he's fucking jacked.
They don't need to see me.
They need to see you.
Right. Oh, there we are. Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, here we are.
This was the greatest show we're going to do today.
I will tell you, in these mics, that you got to talk into.
Okay. You got to lean in and
you gotta talk into it.
Yeah. I mean, I'd be honest to say that Rip Prize lean. Never mind. Yeah.
I would what? I'm half fluffed. I know.
The only rule is we're trying to stay on YouTube. Besides that, everything's free game. So hey, welcome to the show, man. Rip,
all right.
Big intro there. You got the mic. I don't have a mic, so you're.
I use mine.
No, you're in charge. Yeah.
No, I get all shy and stuff, and I can. But this is Kevin Thorn, 7 Mordecai. How many other names? Tell me.
Mordecai, Kevin Thorn. I mean, I was formerly known as Max Cherry at one point. Ecstasy. I mean, you know how it goes. You try to come up with as many names as you can, and hopefully something sticks.
Well,
Here you are when I met you, right here.
Yeah, seven stuck, and then Kevin Thorn stuck, and Mordecai stuck. So that's all I got. So
and hold on, then we have this right here. Look at that.
Yeah, me, Travis, Bane, and Sin.
You guys were the Disciples of Sin?
Disciples of Sin.
Now, were you ever with Batista Leviathan in Disciples of Sin? Or was he in there originally, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was in there originally. And actually, when he got brought up for Deacon Batista or whatever else, it was a Six Flags Summer Series or whatever that was. And I got to powerbomb him and pin him, and off he went. So there you go.
Was that the end of him there?
Well,
like OVW?
I think OVW. Yeah, that was it.
Oh wow, that's wild.
Yeah, I at least got that rub out of it.
Holy shit! You was rubbing a lot of stuff. I'm always rubbing the stuff at night. But
Who was first? Was Mordecai or Mordecai was before?
Mordecai was first. Yeah.
All right, and then the most important thing, though, Rip, not any of that stuff, but the most important thing is right there.
Yes.
I mean,
yeah. Look at me there. Yeah. Yeah.
Businessman.
Look at this. The greatest realtor of all time.
Absolutely.
Got the email up there. I got the champ is home up there. I think I even saw you bring a belt in here.
Yep. I've got my champ is home belt right here.
Right.
Oh, yeah. There we go.
Well, hold it up. Hold it up to the camera.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Let's hold it up to the camera anyway. Let's
look at
go
that.
ahead and show that right there.
Where'd you get that at?
So I have that made.
Holy shit.
So
you sort of like Buddy Rogers when he was a U.S. champion. He had the belt, so I guess he was always the champion years ago.
Well, so I'm not the champ. The champ are my buyers and sellers. So it's kind of their belt. I just get to hold it all the time.
So you're like total gimmick and took the wrestling business
into the real estate business.
And now you're the champion of the world.
Yeah.
It's sort of like champion emeritus in real estate.
Exactly.
It don't get any better than that.
Not at all.
And you got time to still train, look jacked.
Trying.
It don't get any better than that.
Yeah,
Staying looking like you're 28. That's awesome.
I'm trying.
I'm looking like I'm 102, but
not
I'm 101.
Not at all.
So answer this question here. Do you know who the guy is in the mask right there?
That would be me.
What was that gimmick?
That was. Who's the other guy behind there? That's got to be Matt Morgan.
Yeah.
So they wanted, they wanted to do a. It was like a. I don't like a nuclear disaster gimmick or something. With us two.
A nuclear disaster.
Yeah. It was,
hell, that's new.
Yeah. So it was. Yeah. That was. I forget what they were trying to call this. But. Maybe Matt knows. I don't remember, but it was basically we were supposed to be something derived from some algae or whatever, and that's where we came from. So
it was a short run then.
Yeah, it was so short. It lasted about 6 weeks in OVW. That's how short that was.
But you was under contract for a long time. You had a hell of a run.
Oh, I had
that's better than going knocking door to door or working at Circle K or Amazon or whatever. So you had a very successful career.
I definitely blessed on that one. And then blessed to wake up and see your smiling face at 9 o'clock in the morning, most days in Louisville.
Hey, we'll get to that in just a second. But while I had to establish that was you under the hood before I showed this video.
Here we go.
Because that's me right there.
Oh yeah. All right. Here we go.
Ken Doan, Bobby Lashley.
Yeah.
You got you got a really look at you choking me right there. That wasn't very nice. The hometown school teacher. Matt Capitelli in the house. Look at you doing that at my high school in front of all those kids. What the hell is that, dude?
I have no idea.
Look at that, Morgan. Here's why I wanted to establish this was you, because look what happens right now. Oh, wait, here's what happens right now. Get the hell out of here. Look at that.
Dude, that's the best bump I've taken over the top rope in a long time.
I thought I won, but look who was hiding under the ring the whole time.
Idol. No.
Yeah.
You couldn't even go over in your hometown?
Well,
who is the booker for this shit?
So that set up. That was the opening match. So that set up me and him in the main event.
Main event.
Al
Okay.
Snow was running it.
All
I was
right,
like,
all right.
I'm always just against having battle royals first because now they've seen every person. So
Yep.
now the entrances to me don't mean like who's next,
Yep.
next. Well, you've seen everybody.
Yeah.
Like as a kid, I just couldn't wait to see who the next people
person
was coming out.
Yeah.
You have a battle royal. To me, it just kind of kills that whole.
Well, I mean that that was like I had the opportunity to watch Royal Rumble this weekend with my daughter, and it was cool as could be seeing them come out and who's going to be next and who's going to be next and who's going to be next. So that was, I mean, it definitely, to your point, it just makes it that much better.
But didn't they have a lot of guys you didn't go, who in the fuck's music is that?
There was a lot of that.
There was a lot of that.
Yeah.
You know what was weird is, and this isn't meant to be any kind of shot or anything like that, but it seemed like I have to go back through and look. It seemed like the majority of the participants in the Royal Rumble were not from United States. I would say more than not, it seemed like.
Well, it's a worldwide
I know.
It's a worldwide pay-per-view.
I think it's.
Yeah.
You think it's? I'd have to go back and look. Maybe somebody in the comments can verify that. I'm not saying it's good, bad, or indifferent. It just seemed to me like I noticed it, like all the different countries represented, so to speak.
Well, I mean, but I mean, wrestling's worldwide.
Yeah.
So I mean, you've got to. I mean, I think you said this actually. Baskin Robbins, 31 flavors. I mean, we need 31 flavors.
Yeah, we don't need 31 guys doing the same shit.
Yeah. There's we don't need 31 vanillas. We need we need chocolate Rocky Road. Everything else. So that I guess with that's kind of maybe the reason why it was, and I can agree with that. I mean, give them as much flavor as you can.
Now, if you're looking at bottom line, and we got so many wrestlers from Mexico, I guess this pay-per-view is worldwide, so they're going to buy if their guys are on it.
Oh, absolutely.
So if we got guys from Italy, if we got guys from England, if we got guys from Germany or whatever, we want as many guys from everywhere in the world because this is a worldwide pay-per-view, and people want to pay to see. If I'm a young Irish boy,
I want my Irish guy winning. Right. Yeah, that's
if
what.
I'm an Italiano, I want to remind my this and that. So anyway, I'll get the fuck off here now. So we want this to be a worldwide pay-per-view because all we're looking at it is bottom line.
Exactly.
If everybody's from Seymour, Indiana, well, we got 7 buys from Seymour, Indiana, and nobody else gives a rat's ass. So great, you see my hair, 7? I cut it all off.
Oh wow! Look at that.
Yeah, my illegitimate son, Dylan Bostic, he cut it all off.
Dylan's he's a good lad. He is a good lad.
Clayton says he's trying to be like his hero, Von Lilas here. I appreciate that, Clayton.
I am, but I just got to grow another. I got to grow.
You've actually got a lot. You've got Macho Man vibes right now with the beard and everything else.
I guess I should know him.
What else we got here? Let's see. So, all right, go ahead. Let's get into some OVW. So you came. You were in Tennessee, right?
He was in Memphis.
I was a Memphis boy.
Memphis.
Yeah, yep. Started on Power Pro Wrestling, and then.
How'd you start in the business, Kevin?
Stupidity.
Looking back.
Yeah, looking back, it's all stupidity.
How old were you?
So I was 19, turning into 20, working out. Got a job at a Gold's Gym, and then that's where Sid Vicious started working out. And he was working out in the mornings, and I was the morning manager. And literally, we just became workout partners and friends because he his workout partner just kept missing. So and it was like, oh, just come work out with me. No one cares. Just come work out with me. Okay, so. I went and started working out with him. I'm not scared at all. I'll get as close to Rip as he wants. I don't care. Well, it is what it is. Hey, my boy. Jesus Christ. All right, so anyway, no. So I mean, with that was it was Sid, and there was one day. Hey, it was during the time of his broken neck or whatever happened. and basically it was, hey, I'm going to over to this ring today. You want to go and maybe learn how to be a wrestler? And of course. I mean, being a guy that grew up on USWA in Memphis, absolutely I do. We get there and it's in Buddy Wing's backyard.
Okay.
Aubrey,
Buddy
Wayne Peel, and
Okay.
and Aubrey Wayne,
Aubrey.
yeah, was just who I got to beat up, and it was let's see what this kid can do, and so we got there. They rolled out carpets. There's dead rats in all the carpet. It's in his backyard. This ring is set up. It's like radiator hose and razor wire basically is what I can equivalent this thing to. Every time I hit the ropes, I'm getting stuck with some sort of wire, and Aubrey is just doing cartwheels on this thing. And Sid's like, oh, you got to do this, you got to do, and I learned headlock, lock up, and tackle, and then it was off to the races. I got booked here, and here, and I'm taking you with me. You're going to be my little protege, Kid Vicious, and so on. Oh, I didn't mention that one earlier. Kid Vicious. And he literally gave me because I was a size 13 and he gave me a pair of boots, a pair of knee pads, his K&S trunks, I guess, the black ones that everybody had. And I got a leather vest, and I was Kid Vicious, and I was just going along with it. So,
well, I never heard that story. That's the first time I heard that. I didn't know that existed. So then, how'd you get discovered or signed or whatever? Was it working out with him or wrestling with him, or who saw you?
Working out with him, being on Power Pro at the time a little bit and everything else. But then Memphis Championship Wrestling started because it's Memphis and they go back and forth like crazy.
Is this Randy Hales?
So Randy Hales, but then Terry Golden. So it was kind of back and forth. And at the time, Memphis Championship Wrestling with Terry Golden had the WWE developmental at the time, along with Louisville. So I was down there. Basically, I was a bartender and then wrestler on the weekend is basically how I was paying bills and everything else. Well, it was Pete Gas. I'm trying to, I mean, Steve Bradley. I mean, there's a bunch that went through there. Kurt Angle, everything else that was kind of running through there. And, basically they had a really big show in, I want to say it was Arkansas State University in their, and I think Taz wrestled Jerry Lawler and everything else, but Percy Pringle, Paul Bearer was there. Paul Bearer was there, and he saw me and he goes, you were like, you could be the Undertaker's son, and he just started working with it. And then, Cornette got a hold of it too. Cause I was, as 7 with Power Pro. And basically they ended up helping me get my job. So, and getting into developmental. So
that's awesome, man. So yeah, people are, I only have a thing for 2 mics. My soundboard, whatever you want to call it, has 2 mics. I tried to mess around with getting a 3rd mic USB. It wasn't working. So we got 2. So just freaking deal with it. I'll do the best we can here.
Are we not hearing me, or we're not hearing what?
Well, I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Why you gotta get angry at him? Why are you getting?
I like to heal every once in a while. Sorry,
well,
I've been a little.
Hey guys, just keep paying attention to us. Don't worry about that guy. It is what it is. He gets angry. It's cool.
I got it.
Rip,
100% bully.
Rip is such a baby face on this show. I've got to play the heel role every once in a while.
Which is so unlike Rip. That's
he's such a he's such a baby face on here. He won't.
My old age, I'm just so mellow. I got no testosterone.
I've actually got a guy for that now. I can help you out with that.
So tell us about OVW. You get to OVW. Tell us about meeting Rip, your first times there, him training you, who's there, all the stuff. Just break down OVW for us as best you can.
Actually, first time I met Rip was they had a Louisville Garden show, and I came up and stuff, and he was in the back, and I always thought it was a good thing to go, well, yes, Sid trained me. Sid says hi. Total work. Total. Sid never said fucking hi to anybody and everything else. And Rip actually was the first person that ever called me out on that. And he's like, you know what? I think I have a receipt in my wallet. And by the way, he pulled out this fucking Costanza wallet, which he has. Hold on. Let's. Yep. See, look at that. He basically pulls this out, goes through it, finds the receipt that he wired Sid money or whatever for some show that Sid never showed up on, and then blames me. And I went, God, that fucking totally went wrong. And that was like, oh shit, I think I just screwed myself, coming up here. I wasn't signed yet at that time. I was coming up with Derek from Memphis.
Oh, he was over. He was my
yeah, he was
stepson.
Yeah, he was your stepson.
Uh-huh.
But it was like I thought it would be hilarious, or not hilarious, but I thought that would help me out and like punch through by saying that. And Rip just calls me out, and I'm like, oh, that never worked. And so I went back going home on the way home with Derek. I'm like, I think I just screwed myself. I'm never gonna get signed. And here we are. That's still did, but it was a good story.
That's a great story. So what about training? OVW training? Who was with you? Rip's practices, Rip as a teacher, any kind of stories like that?
Man, we had a crew. I mean, most of the guys are up there now and thriving and surviving and everything else, or out on the indies and everything else. Oh shit, I just kicked your mic, or kicked the
you're right.
Yep, there we go. But I mean, at that time, what were we? 9 o'clock, 8 o'clock,
whatever it was. I was driving.
Yeah, you were driving from here. Which now that I live here and I realize how far you were driving every day and everything else, I'm like, holy shit!
I can tell you the time. It started from 10 to 12. Is the way it started.
So it's 10 to 12.
And then there was like a day where, or like a week where he had something to do, and he's like, "All right, boys, we're gonna practice at 8 instead."
Yep. And then it
became 8.
And then
it started ending at noon instead of ending at 10.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
They went from 2 hours to 4 hours.
But I mean, most of us were getting paid. I mean,
Right.
so I mean, that was our job. So why are we bitching about it? And
That's what I always wanted.
and when you get older and everything else, I look back at all this and I'm like, I always should apologize to you, because we always used to bitch, and we'd hate it, but
You were gonna
that was
bitch no
that.
matter-
Well,
that's
yeah, we're
human
gonna bitch no
nature.
matter. But it was like literally like this was our job.
Right.
I mean, so and that's what we had to realize. I mean, but the
At 8 o'clock, I locked the door.
yeah, at 8 o'clock you locked the door, and it was totally, you didn't get in.
Dude, you had to.
And I had the front parking. I always got there probably the earliest, and I always parked in that front parking spot, and that was my spot, and it was like, all right, I'm here, so, but it was, at that time, nobody understands the shape that we were in.
Right.
And to your credit and you didn't beat us up.
No.
We did chain wrestling for an hour every day.
Heat on all those body parts.
Heat on and everything else.
Good wrestling shape.
Condition, yeah,
without giving you a bunch of bumps.
Yeah, and nobody understood that. And and you look at some of the training today, and I watch different promotions that put their stuff out there on Facebook and Twitter and everything else, and I'm sitting there watching. I'm like, why are they doing all this when, I mean, none of them can even lock up fucking correctly? Why are we not doing this, or just chain wrestling? And just, I mean, by the time that we were done during that time,
you guys were great.
I was covered
Yes.
in sweat, soaking up, having to change shirts and everything else. But we got the best workouts, and we were most fundamentally sound of all the crews that I think that have gone through there. And that was, to your credit. So,
And
I appreciate
how
that.
many guys did hours?
I did with Orlando Jordan, and I still have it on tape, and I go through that, and shit, it's been probably 6 months. I watched that one time. I found a VCR, plugged it in, and everything else.
It made sense, didn't it?
It made sense, and you're yelling at me the whole time.
No,
but that's coaching,
yeah.
and stuff. And then towards the end, I started getting gas. You're like, just fucking get through it. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay. You're like, like, you know, and it was,
Mental block.
yeah, it was, but when you got done, you're like, you just felt this arise that I did this, you know, and that was cool.
It was
So
great. Now you got more fucking confidence.
Yep.
And I said, when you guys get brought up to WWE, you're going to find out you guys fundamentally are better than them.
Yep.
You know how to work more. I don't give a shit about spots. I don't give a shot about, this is wrestling.
Yep.
This is wrestling. You get in, you get out, don't get hurt because you might have to work how many days in a row.
Yep.
And you got to learn to work with when you're hurt.
Yep.
So, but I got guys going over 2 hours.
Yep.
Called in the ring.
Yep.
20-minute promo. Okay, do a promo on that light. Go. Boom. 20 minutes.
Yep.
They just do a goddamn promo. And it was just so much fun teaching. You guys were all great world-class, what I call you great world-class wrestlers.
Yep.
But I'm teaching you all the old shit that I had to fail on and learn all this shit.
Yep.
So I'm trying to give you some knowledge so that when you get brought up, if you'd have just brought up just knowing moves, you're out of your fucking league.
Yep.
You're so nervous.
Yep. And the problem with us is we thought we knew more, and then now looking back, it's like, God damn it, he was so right. You know, it was like, I wish I would have known that, or you know, I just wish I would have gone with that. You know, we always thought we had to do bigger and better, and and fundamentals are the biggest key to this, and you know, and staying healthy and staying, making money. I mean, just like CM Punk, this past week, I mean, one move, now he's out of his WrestleMania moment. I mean, and it's trying to figure out how to stay healthy and keep that going.
But also, I mean, Rip says all the time, like, you got to practice to all the training. Like, all these guys now don't really do that much. So now when they have to go do their one match a week, their body's not really used to it, and that's when they
get callous to it.
Yeah.
And I never understood that until like now, like every now and then. Now I go wrestle.
Then you're
every
like, holy shit, how'd I do this every day?
And I'm like, like 3 days later, I'm still hurting.
Yeah.
Where before I never hurt, and I did twice as much.
Yep.
It's like we're saying, okay, now let's take an arm drag.
Yep.
You got your arm drag bump in. You're still comfortable with. Let's do a drop toe hold.
Yep.
Let's do a hip toss. Let's do one slam.
Yep.
One. Now oversell the son of a bitch.
Yep.
But we gotta. That's like when Punky gets hurt. His body's not in that shape where you guys every day you're doing it. Every day you're doing it. Every day you're doing it. Plus you're working the spot shows and stuff.
Yep.
And now you're having enough brains to figure out, well, hell, I'm working the spot show, but I don't really want to do anything. But I'm just going to oversell, which makes the match, which is the way it's supposed to be.
Yep.
And you're actually learning to work.
Yep.
Hey, we got to get to this question that was posted before I forget. And we're talking about 7. I was going to ask you a question about the name 7 anyway. It said Dustin Rhodes was named 7 when he left the Gold Dust gimmick and went to Nitro in the late 90s. Ask him if 7 in WCW was ever discussed to Kevin when OVW presented Kevin with the gimmick. Did they present to you, or did you already have the name 7?
I already had the name 7 because it was all based off 7 Deadly Sins and everything else. When I saw Dustin do that, I was like, oh, fuck.
So yeah.
And I was like, all right, well, I put a lot of time and effort into this, and that's how I got on Power Pro. Was I went to Cornette and I go, you have sin, I want to be 7, and I want to be the 7 deadly sins, and then go after gluttony. And then if you ever look at the old Power Pro tapes and everything else, I mean, it was Jimmy, being as smart as Jimmy is, literally we did gluttony. I mean, we did every sin leading up to me finally coming out with her. And I mean, that was the coolest thing ever. I mean, granted, I knew nothing at that time. I shouldn't even been on TV, but he gave me that opportunity, and that's definitely what helped get 7 over, and then got me to where I was.
Sin, who is in his picture, is actually Cornette's wife now. So
yep.
There they are right there. Sin, who he's talking about. And what was his Travis Bane at this time?
Travis Bane
at this time?
Well, no, he was.
He was Tomko?
No.
Travis Tomko. He was Tyson Tomko later.
Tomko.
That was later in TNA,
yeah.
I think. But anyway, do you remember? I was telling this story a few weeks ago with Rip. Do you remember at one of the spot shows somewhere we had a big battle royal? You remember Joe Dirt? Do you guys remember setting up Joe Dirt to win that battle royal at all? Rip wasn't in on it. It was you and Tomko. You don't remember that? And then you pinned him up against the wall in the locker room. You remember Joe Dirt? He looked like Joe Dirt.
No,
oh my God, I can't believe you don't remember that.
So we were messing with him, right?
So you and Tomko set it up. You're like, all right, listen, guys. Here, we're gonna go over the finish and all that, but this is not what we're gonna do. We're all going out, eliminate each other. We're gonna make him win. Yep. And then we're gonna yell at him when he gets back. Why are you going into business for yourself? He was not a contract guy, real little skinny guy. He was in Nick's class.
Yeah.
He comes up from something, and he's the only one left in the ring. They raise his hand, and he comes back to the back. You just slam the door. You're like, all right, everybody get around here.
Yeah.
And then Tom goes right there with you, just huffing and puffing at him. And you literally like had him pinned up against the wall, yelling at him, what the fuck do you think you're doing? And then all of a sudden everybody just started laughing and clapping. And you don't remember that? How do you not remember that? That was so awesome, man.
Because I've gotten hit in the head way too many times and everything else. I sort of remember that, but it's one of those things. But you know, that was the best part about all those shows and stuff is, I mean, we just went out and had fun. There was one time I was trying to remember things coming in here to talk. Was Chris the first time I ever got praise from Rip Rogers, which I'm not gonna lie, when Danny and Jim and everybody are like, yeah, at that house show this weekend, you know, Rip actually praised you. I was on cloud 9, right? So, but it was me and Chris Cage, and it was in North Vernon. It was in this little the old Vernon gym. Yeah. Okay. So do you remember? So it was, we were doing something beforehand and trying to work out our match, and Rip just loses his shit on me. Right. And you know, motherfucker, you know, all this stuff, like, you guys need to learn to call it in the ring and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay, all right, well then screw this. We won't do any of this stuff we did. And I'm going to work a headlock the entire match. And I literally worked the headlock like I thought I was ribbing him, which is never going to happen. But at that time of your life, you think, oh yeah, I'm going to get this old motherfucker back. Like, fuck him, you know. And literally I do that, come through the curtain and everything else. He's like, that's the greatest fucking match. Like, and I was like, I only worked ahead. Like, he goes, but you worked like till the end, and then he just schoolboyed me, and that was it. Like, but literally, I would not let go of the headlock, and that was 10 minutes of the match. He goes, you bored him, you got him high, and then all of a sudden they just, I mean, did you hear them at the end? And you're like, oh shit, I actually fucking think I actually did something. I didn't even mean to.
The question is, were you just ribbing him?
No.
He was ribbing you, putting you over.
No, but he was serious because he went to everybody, like Danny and Cornette and everybody else. Is like, we heard you had this amazing match this weekend and it was the best thing. And I was like, yeah, I guess it was. So
I was there, so I know why he was. The reason he was so mad at Vernon is because there were people in line,
looking
and there were windows.
Well,
there were windows in that gym,
we didn't know
everybody
any better.
Was in the ring.
We're all
so
idiots.
Rip gets there after we're already at the ring set up,
and
he sees what they're seeing, and he just, because I remember Renee and Lance Cade were in there. Because I actually wrestled them that night, and then luckily I hadn't like gotten in there yet. I was like, oh yeah, man, I don't know. These guys are under contract. I don't know what they're doing in the ring.
Yeah.
But, hey, remember we would have spot shows, and then I would put a list up.
Yep.
Yeah, get right in there, Rip.
And then it'd be these are just named. It'd be like Brock against Randy Orton. So they go through all their prearranged bullshit, right?
Yep.
So then I'd say, okay, first match, Randy go on out first. Then I'd send a different opponent out.
Yep. Oh yeah.
Because no, I'm going to make you get good, and first you're going to be mad, but then you're going to say, well, I made it through it.
Yep.
I understand. And now you're going to like, or I'd say now switch roles.
Yep.
And then I'm trying to get you good so that when you get on the big stage, you're not going to be fucking nervous.
Oh yeah.
You're going to be so overqualified for this job. It's all a rib. Yep. And the fucking stars, they can't fucking do this shit. And you're just fucking laughing at them.
Yep.
And because when you were there at OVW, And how many times I tell you, this is going to be the greatest time of your motherfucking life.
Yep.
You're going to book back. Now you're the world's greatest real estate guy.
Yeah.
But now you're sitting back, reliving all these moments, thinking these guys we bonded with,
Oh, yeah.
thinking how it's not that I was fucking with you. I was
Yeah.
trying to teach you
Teach.
to be on time.
Yep.
Leave earlier.
Yep.
Here I was coming fucking 2 hours and 40 minutes if it was perfect, right? To get there.
Yep.
And if you're 1 minute late, I lock the door.
Yep.
Well, get there earlier.
Yep.
Don't jack off as much.
Yep.
Or whatever,
Yeah,
whatever you're doing.
Learn to
I'm
manage
trying to
time.
help you so that when you're there, it's all a rib to you.
Yep.
Now here's a story with Sid. You remember this? The story when I don't know. We was in WCW and Sid was to Enhancement Town. He was very intimidating.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
To me, I know
Yeah.
he's ribbing and
Yeah.
working.
Yeah.
So he did something. So I acted like I shit in my hand. And I had one of them chocolate protein bars. So I took it, looked at it, sniffed it, and went, oh, like that. And I took a bite of it and started fucking chewing it. Sid run out. Mr. Barnett, he's fucking crazy. He's fucking crazy.
And as big as Sid was,
Oh,
he was worried
yeah.
about that.
And
Oh,
he's
yeah.
a goddamn giant, so fucking big, so fucking jacked. And I'm just fucking ribbing him. That was funnier than shit.
And pardon the pun. It was funnier than
Oh.
shit.
We shouldn't be talking about.
Yeah.
We shouldn't be talking.
Yeah,
about
we got
shit.
YouTube. We got YouTube
Yeah,
channel here.
we can't be talking about that right now.
Hey, I was actually in a match with you once when Rip wouldn't let us put us both in opposite locker rooms.
Oh yeah.
So it was somewhere in Indianapolis. It was me and Mike Taylor against you and Tomko.
Yep.
And we had to do separate locker rooms, so we couldn't
Oh, yeah.
talk.
Yep.
Well, I had missed practice that morning. I was in Nick's class at the time.
Yep.
And my brother came in from Houston. I went to Broad Ripple. My plan was to go out for a couple beers, then
Yeah, that
then
never
drive to
happens.
Louisville,
That never
do Nick's
happens.
class, and then come back for the show. Never did. So then Rip's like, you know how Rip would get everybody together before, or he would sit there and then call each person over, like, all right, here's your match, here's the finish, whatever. So he pulls me and Mike Taylor over, and he's like, you got 7 and Bang tonight. I was like, okay. I was like, he knows I didn't go to practice. I'm getting ready to get my ass kicked. He knows I didn't go to practice today. Nick stooged me off and told him I didn't go to practice. But then I guess he didn't, because then after the show, he goes, you didn't go to practice today? And I said, no. He said, if I would have known that, you would have never had a match.
Yeah.
So he wasn't getting me beat up on purpose.
Well, we didn't beat you. I think we had a blast that match,
Yeah,
if
you
I
did.
remember. Yeah.
Yeah, you did.
Me and Tomko always intimidated the fuck out of everybody.
Sure, yeah.
But we really were ribbing a lot of people because we were just having fun. Like we would totally not talk to everybody, do everything, and then we just go out there and have, and then all of a sudden they're like, oh shit, this is the greatest thing ever. I mean, you put us in there with Capitelli and Johnny Nitro. When they first got to Indianapolis in the it was
right off the interstate.
right off the interstate,
Ramada
but it
Inn.
wasn't the Ramada Inn though. It was a high school gym there.
Okay.
Because we were behind the curtain. It was their first time in, and you just went, go have fun. Don't beat them up too bad, but go have fun. And it was like, all right, here we go. And I mean, we had a blast with those guys. I mean, bunch of times.
Yeah, I remember one time you guys were like had a football out or something.
Oh no, yeah.
Rip wasn't there,
Rip wasn't at that one. He might have killed us for that one. But we literally played football with them and got it over. Like we went to the back of the arena and had a football match, lost, then get back in the ring and then start the heat because we lost the football match. But it was, I mean, yeah, but that's what wrestling is. I mean, it's just entertain, and that's all that matters.
So back to OVW, did you ever get the, I ask everybody this that Rip trained, did you ever get the ding, get the fuck out? Did you ever get kicked out of the ring by Rip during like practice matches?
How many times? I don't have enough fingers for that shit. I got dinged a bunch of times. That still haunts me. Actually, that's why I can't sleep till past 4, because I wake up at 4 o'clock and I hear ding, get the fuck out. Like, yeah. So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But the thing about it is a lot of times you was doing stupid shit.
Well,
And then and I said, no, that's stupid shit.
Yep.
And eventually you'll figure it out.
Yep.
Or I'm going to fuck with you just to do it because you're having too good of a day. Because it's best to be on some kind of edge.
Oh no, 100%.
You need to be focused on what you do and serious about all this shit. So then, when you have house shows and you're in the big time, you can totally relax. You're totally confident, and you know you got this shit.
Well, and you know, we knew, you know, and you know, as much as we didn't give you credit for it, but we should have, is we knew that if you actually told us that was really good, it was really good. You know, and you told us when it sucked. And, you know, everybody else would sugarcoat shit. And that's, you know, the one thing to your credit is there was never any sugarcoating. you knew if you sucked and you knew if you were good. Like, you know, and that was kind of the, you know, the best part about it, you know, and that's, you know, it instills in me, you know, even to this day is, you know, how I, you know, talk to my son, you know, talk to my daughter, you know, in sports and stuff is, you do good. I'm going to tell you, I'm going to praise you. But if it sucks and you're lacking and everything else, you need to know. I mean, and that's how you get better. And I mean, and that's why we got better, you know, during that time.
Look at this. If it's the real person, Rico Constantino in the house saying hello to you. All the top stars here wrestling with Rip Rogers, man.
Oh,
Rico was just on the show a couple weeks ago. What's up,
Rico's
Rico?
Amazing. He was absolutely amazing.
Now, were you guys there together in OVW at all, or just WWE?
For a little bit,
and
in WWE. I mean, yeah, absolutely. And I mean, no better guy in the face of this earth than him. So,
yeah, he was great. So he was with Billy and Chuck, obviously. You and Billy, you guys still buddies? You guys used to be pretty tight, right?
Yeah, I talk to Billy about once every couple weeks and stuff like that. I mean, he's, you know.
He still looks all right, right?
Jesus Christ.
He looks better than he, you know, he looks better and better. I mean, he's one of those guys that's just timeless, you know, but then, you know, his two boys are doing phenomenal things too and learning the right way because, you know, a lot like we've been talking about with Rip, Billy will yell at them and dog cuss them, you know, just to let them know. I mean, you know, if he doesn't like it and everything else, I mean, he doesn't sugarcoat it and tells them, hey, this is what you should have done better and everything else. And it just makes them that much better. I mean, they're so young. They're going to be just insane, you know, in the next couple of years.
Yep, I agree. So Greg Smith in the house. What's up, Greg? Yeah, Rico. Looks like it is actually Rico. So that's pretty cool. There was another question here somewhere. I can't remember where it was that I wanted to hit on, but now I can't remember. I do know some people were asking where you sell houses at, man. So in case anybody's here local, let's go ahead and give that one more plug here.
Yeah, Indianapolis. I mean, pretty much anywhere in central Indiana. Actually, Jason Frost down at OVW. Actually, he's probably listening right now.
Nice. Shout out to Jason Frost.
Frost. He's on his way up to Youngstown. I just listed his house yesterday. We've got a ton of showings on it and everything else. Actually, my phone's been blowing up during this time and stuff. And yeah. So you know, I've got all kind of clients here and there. And love wrestling fans as clients, love everybody's clients, but it's fun when you get to go tell stories as you're going to show houses. It's always that much more fun. You know?
So Indianapolis, Indiana, around that area, folks. If you got anybody around here, I put up the information a couple different times. So then we also had somebody said that their brother, we got a loyal listener here, Stephen Keys, just bought a t-shirt from Rip the other day. So that's cool. His brother, Scott Keys, or Keyes, never know if I'm saying it right. I mean, I don't know if you remember this all. Dreamwave, LaSalle, Illinois, 2010. You wrestled this guy's brother, so I wanted to put that over since he's always a big fan of the show here.
Oh, yeah.
So I wanted to ask you something about you and Shelly here.
Oh Lord!
How did you guys get together as a duo? Was that something you two worked out? Did somebody put you together?
No, they put us together.
Yeah.
As soon as they launched ECW. sci-fi needed certain things, and they wanted like
The vampire?
Vampires, sci-fi, horror, a little bit of this and a little bit of that.
That
and,
was horror, right?
Yeah, horror. So, and stuff like that. So that was kind of, and she was just supposed to be a tarot card reader and whatever. And it kind of worked hand in hand. And I mean, looking back, I mean, it was awesome. Shelly went above and beyond, and I mean, made me look that much better. And that was the best part about her, and stuff. Towards the end, I think there was some political shit, and I don't know all the story of that, so I won't get into it. But I mean, to me, she never should have left my side, and we could have done so much more, but they were always scared of it because it was like, oh, they're starting to get over this good without us. Like, oh, we gotta. It's typical WWE shit where, if they just would have let us go out there and really run it the way we were doing it, we would have. It would have got that much better. But it was always, oh well, they're doing this. We shouldn't. When she was jumping up in my arms and everything else, and I was hanging her over like a bat and everything else. It was getting over, and then all of a sudden it was like, well, you guys can't do that anymore. It's PG. I'm like, we're on Sci-Fi Channel. It's a bunch of a bunch of wrestling fans that like TNA and everything else. Why would you not let us do that? But it was just the way it was. So you had to deal with it. It was like, oh yeah, like buddy hug. Sometimes instead of us doing the whole jumping up in each other's arms and stuff like that.
I mean, you guys got pretty sexual on there.
Sorry?
Yeah, I mean, it turned me on a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
I mean,
it was you had to kind of like that, right? I mean, come on.
What, me and Shelly, dude, we were like brother and sister. She hated my guts, I hated her guts.
Oh.
It was only on camera, and it was literally, yeah, fine, fuck you. As soon as we walked
you didn't really not like each other, did you?
No, we hated each other for a while. We just didn't get along.
Did you end up getting along?
No, 100% towards the end.
You did get along.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Absolutely. But it was, we were two separate entities that didn't think we needed each other, and then really realized towards the end, God damn it, we do need each other.
Because I remember you did that show at the bar you were running up here, and she came in for that show. So I was like, surely you guys were cool after.
No, I mean, I love her to death. I mean, I talk to her here and there, and it's, I mean, she definitely made it that much better. I mean, and she went to town. I mean, on it, and made us look that much better. So yeah.
So what was the ultimate demise on the Kevin Thorn run then? Was there anything you can want to talk about? Is it just the end? I can't remember.
On Kevin Thorn? Nothing.
Just got released one day?
Yeah. They just was what it was.
Yeah.
They came to me and go, we need you to cut your hair. You need to do this. You need to do that. And you look too much like the Undertaker. And I went, oh, okay. So I went and got a singlet and cut my hair. And then they went, well, yeah, that doesn't work either. And I'm like, this is what you guys wanted. Like, so it was what it was. Now, like with Mordecai, I got in a fight in the bar, and that just totally fucked me. So that was kind of the reasoning on that one.
I'm not sure I even remember that. So that happened for the Mordecai gimmick. Was that, I'm trying to think, was that before, or was that the reason, like you and the Undertaker didn't have your thing? That was the reason, or you already had that? And then
no, that was the reason. I was on track to wrestle the Undertaker in WrestleMania as Mordecai. It was going to be white versus black and everything else, and I mean, promos underneath Taker's wing. It was the greatest thing ever. And my dumbass in a bar in Louisville decides, someone was about to hit me and my wife with a bottle. I intervened, I guess you could say, and probably a little bit more force than should have happened, because I've got a kickball size head, and yeah, and it just, I just screwed the pooch. So
did you get arrested, or how did they know? How did they find out?
Civil suit. Well, I mean, I'm
There was a suit.
I'm a stark white guy, and I had white hair, white everything.
I mean, I didn't know how WWE.
It was pretty eady to find out. And then they went and basically I was in Houston, getting ready to debut on some stuff. And my wife calls. She goes, the detectives are here. You're getting arrested. What do you want to do? And I go, fuck. And so I literally walked into Vince's office and I go, man, I fucked up, dude. And went ahead and told everybody the story, and it was what it was.
So that was it.
They let me keep going. I mean, there was a bunch of vignettes and everything else, but then it started getting really thick on lawsuit and everything else, and it was just time to go away. And it was a lot of guys, I guess, during that time was a lot of older guys and stuff that thought I was getting too big of a push too soon, and that were also trying to hurt me in the background, I guess you could say. He's not wrestling to Taker's level, and he's not doing this. And I think it just made it easier to go, yeah, it's the lawsuit, you got to go, than anything else. So that's kind of how I went wayside.
So somebody said earlier, Rip was incognito. You should have went incognito that night at the bar without the white hair and the white eyebrows.
To have it to do all over again, I wouldn't have been in that bar. The messed up part was we wrestled in Scottsburg. Yeah, Scottsburg, and then it was it was either Maven's birthday or Sly's birthday, and they wanted to go out. And my wife and our roommate and everything else were like, oh yeah, let's all go out. So we all went out, and these guys just kept fucking with us because you got Sly and Maven who are pulling every fucking chick in the bar, and they were getting mad about it. And I literally told my wife, and I wasn't literally had no alcohol. Like, this is, nowadays I've been like, yeah, you know what? I probably messed up because I was drinking. Back then, wasn't drinking at all. It literally told my wife, I was like, I'm going to go to the bathroom. When I come back, we're leaving because these guys are about to want to fight. And as soon as I got back, she's in tears. The kid I ended up headbutting, basically told her, fuck you cunt, all this other stuff. And he basically, and he had a bottle down to his side, and he was going to hit me with it because she was like, oh, he's going to come back and beat your ass for this. And so he was already prepared. And I walk up, and she's like in tears, and I'm like, what happened? And she kind of told me, and I look, and he starts walking towards me. I'm like, oh, no. And I just went, man. And and that was all. With the kickball size head, that's all that happened. It was one and done. And literally I walked out and told the police outside of Bar Louisville, this is what happened. And they told me to go home. And I went, okay. And then, on Monday was the detectives at the house. And that's when I had to go tell everybody at the office that I've been fucked, that I totally screwed up.
It's always the guy running his mouth the whole time. Then you take him up on it, and then he wants to tell on you.
Yeah. It's the way it works.
Typical.
The way it works.
Typical. Yeah, that's those vignettes you did with Mordecai, man. Those
were
things,
insane.
God, those were so good. The voice, like a lot of them weren't you just talking on there. It was the voice. You could hear the voice, and then your motion.
Hear me, fear me.
It was good.
Hear me, fear me.
I love that stuff. So it is. What was it like walking around on an everyday basis with that hair and eyebrows?
Oh, it's terrible. Terrible. I look like Colonel Sanders on steroids is what I look like. And actually that was Jericho was the one that deemed me Colonel Sanders on steroids.
Oh, really?
And it would just mess with me because somehow I got in my head that I should always wear white to all TV tapings, all house shows and everything else. I went and bought probably $6,000 to $7,000 worth of white clothes. All my gym attire was white. All my dress clothes were white. Everything that I had was white. And that's literally when I went on the road, that's all I wore. It was a pain in the ass to keep clean. I'm not going to lie.
Wow.
So
that's wild, dude. That was how did it come back? Who's that? Shelly Martinez in here, it looks like. Hey, Shelly, what's up?
Says hide.
Hi. Are you hiding?
Hide.
Oh, I had done the deal right there. She is. Maybe she heard you say you hated her. Maybe.
No, I never hated her.
I'm telling you, man, all the top stars here at Wrestling with Rip Rogers. I mean, what do you think about that, Rip? We got Rico in here. We got 7 in person. We got Shelly Martinez in the chat.
Well, it don't get any better than that. You know, we're just sitting here being this hobnobbing, being on the #1 podcast in all professional wrestling today, or at least the one that's happening right now. So we got 7 on here. We got well, I had 22 names. But that's the norm. And you got to remember, when you started getting the vignettes and everything, anybody that's a star, everybody loved you till you
start making it
better than them.
Yep, absolutely.
And that's such as life.
Yep.
And the office should be saying, no, we want you to work this style. They should have enough brains to do that. Mm-hmm. We want you to work at like 70%. It's not your job to draw. It's your job to entertain. Just get the character over. Do this with you. The girl at your side. This is what we want. We don't want you steal the thunder for what's going to happen later on, but this is your role to play. Yep. If you learn this role of how to do it, then we will move you up to the next thing, and you can learn how to work the next stuff. You're no longer first, second, or third match. Now you're going to be on after the break. Yep. Now you're going, and you might make semi-main event, and you're going to have a nice long run, and then we'll turn you, and then maybe give you another character, then have you leave for a while or get hurt or whatever. For some reason, and but we intend to have a long relationship with you because you're one of the chosen few that we chose you. Yep. And, we chose you. And when you're in your 20s, we're all stupid in our 20s. Oh. And we all have an ego.
Absolutely.
And we need to stay out of bars. Mm-hmm. But hell, I could get messed up and for just drinking once every decade, 20 years or whatever, and I just screw up.
I was expecting some Rip Rogers beer today, by the way, and it didn't. The Seymour.
Well, you got to go. Well, I got to go to Seymour, but I don't ever go to Seymour. So, when your parents die, and that's where you grew up at, then it's sort of sad to go there.
Go there. Yeah.
You start thinking about that.
Yeah.
But shit, next time we have on here, we'll try and get some Hustler beer. That'll be all right. I like it. Vaughn Lies, he keeps trying to grab some.
I'd like to say something every once in a while. Hey, next week we celebrate 2 years, so we may just get Rip drunk in here next week, and then also we are almost. I plugged this earlier.
We should fly Shelly in. I'll come in and everything else, and then
could fly Shelly in. That would be all the top stars already here. Where's our plug for the 10,000, Rip? Do you see it on there? I mean, we need a new producer on this damn show.
Well, you can't do everything.
Well, I try. Talk.
Well, we only got a couple.
Oh, there it is. So look, next week we're celebrating. There's our very first episode, man, right there.
Oh, wow.
Rip, right over there with the green screen deal.
Look at that, clean shaven. That's our
first episode we ever did.
That was corporate Rip.
We're on the road to 10,000. Whenever Rip get to 10,000 subscribers, there's our number now. We're dyeing Rip's beard right here in the studio.
Oh,
it could be the greatest thing ever.
If they'd have tagged you and Boris Zirkov up as like the real headbangers, them huge craniums, you guys.
Oh God!
Just that you'd be breaking gimmick bricks on thing of just.
I mean, I think at that time Jesus. I probably would have broke a real brick just because. So
well, I don't think you'd remember anything.
No,
you'd be so messed up, but you'd had a hell of a time. Had a hell of a time in your 20s.
Hell of a gimmick.
Boy, what a good. I think I had a great decade I have. I can't remember.
What were we talking about again?
Right?
What were we talking about again?
Rico agrees with you, Rick.
Okay, yeah, that's like it's just human nature. Yep. It's just like when the nerd all of a sudden he grows 6 inches in the 9th grade, and all of a sudden he's jacked, and all the girls that wouldn't look at him now, all the other guys are saying, well, they don't like that guy now because he's getting. Everybody wants everything, and such is life. As soon as you start doing as good as everybody else, all of a sudden, or before they loved you, But then you were the butt of your jokes and you were the low man on the totem pole. But now that you're starting to get over, you're starting to get jack. All the women are looking at you. They're tired of the other guys act. And then now they hate you, and you didn't do nothing but evolve. All you did was grow up.
Yep.
And went through the survival of the fittest, and you're making it now, but everybody's mad at you. Because you might be taking their spot, or you might surpass them. Mm-hmm. You're not laughing at them. You're just happy that they had a career. You're happy that you had a career. You're just wanting to. What's that right there? Is that Shelly?
No. What are you doing?
Just hanging out in my bat cave. Thought I'd say hi.
Oh my God.
Dude, why didn't I dress like that? Huh? Damn it.
Well, Kevin, this is not a costume.
I know, this is daily.
Every day.
God.
You look amazing.
Hey, thanks for stopping in, man. Really appreciate that.
So who are we talking shit about right now?
Who do you want to talk shit about? Let's go.
Let's talk shit about you.
Oh, me? Oh, Lord.
Let's hear it. He did say you guys hated each other first, so let's hear some hate stories.
At first, and then learn to love each other. So
here's the thing. I feel our connection, Kevin, was very like brother, sister. That's Absolutely. Why I think it's hilarious that people think we banged. When people are like, they banged. Da, da, da.
No, never did. Yeah.
We did our job right. There it is. Yep. But I feel that really what the issue is I think that, correct me if I'm wrong, Kevin. I don't think you were ready for my personality, how straightforward I am and all this. And then I wasn't ready. I thought you were just going to accept me, but we didn't really know each other that well, So it's kind of like two personalities not understanding each other, but like kind of put in the situation where you feel like you're supposed to know that person. So I think that's why, and I got a mouth on me, I take no shit from nobody. So there you have it. Like, that's why my business, me and the business was live short because I got a mouth, and oh well.
No, yeah.
Agree, disagree with her statement there?
No, absolutely. I mean, it was, at first, and then it was like, all right, and then we figured out each other, and then it worked out really, really, really well, and stuff. And to her credit, I loved her strength, of just straight up telling people, go fuck off. I mean, which was pretty, pretty powerful. So but to her mention of like, oh yeah, everybody always thought we were banging, and we weren't. I was married at the time, but Katie hated her for the first couple of weeks because my wife now, because we were like, I'd lick her neck or whatever, of course she's like the whole time, and stuff. And then all of a sudden the first check came, and Katie's like, well, you could do this with her. I'm like, like she was all about it from that point on. She's, and then for the Hall of Fame thing, we went in there together, and Katie went in with Tommy, so we could actually still look like a couple and still sell it off, which was awesome. So
you know what? God bless Katie for putting up with all that, because if my man had your role, like if you were my man and that was happening, I would be pissed. Like, I'm sorry. I'm a
but the funny thing is nobody ever realizes like half the stuff we did, and all of a sudden me and just look at each other like, yeah, fuck you, and then we just walk off. Like it was that in that moment done, and then walk away. Like it was like, see ya. Peace out.
What's funny is I was just telling one of my girlfriends, because I was telling her my stories, and I said it's funny because there's times I was mad at Kevin, and when he would do the thing where we're in the middle of the ring and it looked like we're all over each other, I'd be like, "F you, you're an asshole," blah, blah, blah. And people didn't know, and then I bend back, and like everyone's like they're banging, and I'm there talking shit to you in the middle of.
Absolutely, which is hilarious. And nobody got that but me and you.
It was
our time. It that much more fun, actually.
Because here's the thing: it was our time, and no one needed to know that was going on, because that was between us. And I think that's the beauty of when we did butt heads, is that it was very to each other's face, not oh, and this, and this, and then trying to like politic behind each other's back kind of thing, you know?
Yep.
It just was what it was. And that's what I loved about you, Kevin, is that a lot of dudes in wrestling, they like that I'm straightforward and blunt, but when it comes to me calling them out, of course they don't like it, but instead they act fake and phony to my face like everything's fine, and then talk so much shit or try to politic me out of making some money, where you were just like straightforward. Like we were straightforward, and I respected that. And
Yep.
that was my turning point in our relationship. Was I was like, dude, he's not one of these fake and phonies. It is what it is. We say it to each other's face. So
Yep.
I love that.
Yep. Awesome.
I thought for sure you guys were banging, personally.
Nope. I get asked all the time, what do those look like? I'm like, I have no fucking clue other than what you see in a picture. Like I've never seen them anything further than that right there. So
with those things, you're referring to teeth, right? I got the teeth right there. Tell me about the teeth. Were these just fake teeth? Did you actually have teeth done, or how did you pull that off?
So I had teeth done.
Did you really?
Because I was always getting or having to wrestle with just the pop-ins. Literally, they would pop out and you'd swallow them in the match. So I had I talked to Gangrel, and there was a doctor out of Nashville that made those for him, and so I had inserts. But then once started working with different people in ECW, they were getting knocked out very, very regularly, and I couldn't afford $4,000 every time I had to get a new insert, because that's what they cost, because they were like almost like a retainer. And so I finally, after going to Johnny several times and going, hey dude, like I can't afford this anymore. Can you guys start to help me out on this? Oh yeah, we'll pay it. And then after I think the third one, they're like, you know what? You don't need vampire teeth anymore. Like, so yeah, that's kind of where that went.
So Shelly, Rico Constantino's in the chat too here. So say hello to Rico. Rico was on the show a couple weeks ago. Rico said that he had the same thing happen to him when he was with Jackie, and he was buried all the time, or at the time. I guess he was saying that people thought him and Jackie were together, apparently.
I could totally see that. It's funny you bring up the popping out, because there was a time you and I can't even remember what it was, but I was wearing the little inserts, still wear them to this day.
Yeah.
And when I went down to go to Kevin, and I'm supposed to be like having a tantrum, one of my fangs just went boop. And in the video, when I've seen it, you could see me kind of like try to grab it or whatever. But it's hard being a vampire, and people think it's all easy and just hanging upside down, sucking people's blood. But it's a lot of responsibility, as Kevin mentioned in that fang story.
That is awesome. Somebody in here was saying that you were in the chat earlier. I think I saw you. You popped up in the chat, right?
Yeah.
People are saying that's not really her, and then you come right on the show to prove everybody wrong. That's just, it doesn't get any better than that. Now, I know you don't have a long time, so anytime you need to go, just give us the Iggy. Just say, hey, I got to get out of here. So
I got a little extra time because my plans got pushed back, but I'd like to share a little story about Kevin.
Talk away, please.
Okay, so Kevin and I, here we are. We finally are getting each other. We're meshing. Everything's good. So then we go to overseas, and Kevin is in this bar with everybody in Nottingham, England. And he's like, you got to try this. And I was like, what? He's like, you got to try this drink. So he brings, the bartender has absinthe, real absinthe, with the whole deal with the sugar cube and whatever. And so after we were in Europe, WWE always goes to Mexico. So we had like a day off or something. So there was a van that took us to like the shops or whatever. Kevin, I don't know if you remember, you got a bottle of real absinthe, and and I were in the back of the van. I had my little recorder that kept playing, pissing Jillian Hall off. And we just kept taking drinks right out of the thing. And so ever since you bit me with the green fairy, I've been the green fairy, so I thought it was only proper to bring my absinthe out and take a nice little shot right here for old time's sake.
Lord have
on
mercy.
an empty stomach.
Oh God.
So we'll see what happens.
All right, so her
boys.
day's gonna be fun.
We'll see what happens, boys.
And what time is it there? 9?
Like 9 something. And then
it's never too early.
you know, this is just who I am. I'm a
Cheers.
grumpy old vampire bitch.
Cheers.
All right.
Oh God, here we go.
So that hold on though, that was in Mexico, was it not? Was
yeah,
that,
when you got the bottle, but when you when you hold on.
you can't chase it. Come on now. With the sugar cube. No, kidding.
Too much sugar, too much carbs. So I tried it when we were in England, but then when you had that bottle, we were in Mexico, and that's when we were just.
Yep, and that was right before WrestleMania. Oh yeah.
And so that was like a time that I just love so much because I feel like, I don't know about you, Kevin, but when I first started training, I think I said this when I was on your guys' show a couple months back. What I fell in love with wrestling was like the stories I'd hear. Like the vets would be like, yeah, this one time we were on the road and da 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 da. So having that moment with you has always been something that, like, especially when I drink absinthe, because a lot of people don't. And so people are like, oh, that's gross. I'm like, well, you know, Kevin.
If I could find some real absinthe, I'd leave right now and go get some right now.
I know. So long live the absinthe and the green fairy. And every time I drink it, I always think of you.
Oh, I appreciate it. That's awesome.
If I would have known this was going to be a drinking show, man, I would have gotten hammered already. How about you, Rick?
I've actually got to work, so I can't. But yeah,
I just want to sit here and listen.
So the funny part about that is too is in the Mexico trip. The hotel that we were staying at, the Chinese consulate was there, and they had like all these floors locked off. And I don't know if Shelly wasn't around me then, but I got really fucked up on that shit and started going to floors and ended up getting off on a floor. And it was a bunch of Chinese guys with guns, like, you're in the wrong floor. And I'm like doing the moonwalk back into the elevator to go and stop.
Oh my, that was the same trip?
Oh yeah, that was the same trip. Yeah. Oh yeah. It was like, oh no. Like, I was on the wrong floor, but you guys all look so pretty, you know. But yeah, so oh man, these are the stories that get us all in trouble that we can only tell with each other.
Well,
like,
nobody watches this show.
Yeah, nobody. I can tell with the 80,000 like comments going on here, you know.
Seriously, nobody watches the show. Whatever you two say on here is safe. Nobody will hear us. Just us. How many people we got in here?
Absolutely.
6,
well, my
whatever
wife is listening right now. She's in the gas station, or not the gas station. She's in Kroger, and she just sent me. She's like, "Oh yeah, no banging, huh?" I go, "Yeah." It's like kind of like I told you. Like I never lied to you. She's even admitted it too. She didn't want to bang me just like you. What?
I hope I didn't get you in trouble. This was totally surprised. Put this all on me. This was on me. Kevin had no idea this was happening. It was all on me. So I apologize if you're in any trouble right now.
No, I'm in trouble for a lot of other things.
Exactly. Men, you will always be in trouble. Just know that.
Exactly.
Know that. And if you accept the fact that, yes, we're always mad at you and you're always in trouble, you can work with it better that way. Just accept it.
Yeah.
Should I tell her what you said last week, Rip, about women?
Oh, I'll tell you what I said about women.
Oh Lord! Oh Lord! Here we go. Here we go.
What did I say?
Here we
You
go.
said the downfall of every man.
The downfall of every man has to do with a woman.
Well,
Why does a man want to make money?
Yep. Well,
why does a man want to be jacked?
Yep, because of a woman.
Why does a man want to be very successful?
Because of a woman.
It's all the thing. Without a woman,
it's all their fault.
It's all their fault. Without a woman, you ain't got no money. Who cares? You ain't jacked. Who cares?
No, Lord.
You ain't got nothing. Who cares? No, that hot bitch over there. I had to see her. I said, God damn, I got to work out. I got to make money. I got to become somebody, right? And she's looking at another guy. He's 3/4 of an inch taller than me. He makes $40 a week more than me. I ruined my life because of a woman. Get in line.
Oh,
Look, Rip, on that note,
yeah,
there's many. It goes both ways. You men with your little hang-ups and Just get your shit together, boys. And then they ruin women's lives as well. So it goes both ways.
But speaking of great men and women's stories, I'll give this one. It was OVW, and okay. you were there, and somehow it was. And this is all props to Shelly, because Shelly, and this is the day I was like, holy shit, she's a tough bitch. Something happened with you and Miz, and you and Miz got in the ring, and she choked him out right there. And me and Tom are like running the ring trying to like pull her off and everything else. It was the funniest thing I've ever seen. Yeah, that was. Yeah,
you know what the best part of that story is, though, to me, when I relive it, is before I choked him out, I said, when you were stinking it up in the real world, I was working the indies, learning how to be a good worker, and that's when I grabbed him.
That's when you snatched him up,
choked him out. Yeah,
thing ever. To this day, I'm like, oh no,
F the Miz.
Yeah,
who do you ever beat?
Yeah, who do you ever beat? He didn't do a 60-minute Broadway.
Rico says Shelly's right. 62 years old. I'm still in trouble. So,
yeah, absolutely.
You're already used to it. You know, just embrace it. Just like us ladies, we have to embrace certain things about you men. Look, I'm a man hater from way back. My guy, we've been together for yesterday was 8 years. He knows I'm a man hater from way back, but back in the day, I wanted to write this book called Cockblocker Stop. And the book would be about people who are cockblockers, but something that I realized in my research of Cockblocker Stop, at the end of the day, we are our own cockblockers. Being a cockblocker is, you can cock block yourself because like you have like, let's say you have like an issue or whatever, you cock block yourself. You go after the wrong person, you're cock blocking yourself. So being a douchebag or being an energy vampire is very unisex, I would like to say. It's the Green Fairy talking. I know you guys are like, what the fuck is she talking
Jesus
about?
Christ. That was only one shot.
It was on an empty stomach.
Like, okay.
Hey, what do you think about Rip's new haircut and beard? You haven't seen Rip in a while. He got his haircut.
He looks handsome.
Drew his
very
beard
handsome.
out.
Very, very handsome.
The Lord.
Do I owe you money?
You can pay me in another way.
Oh. Well, I should have paid you 20 years ago.
It doesn't inflate like that anymore.
We're looking at the whoop,
Yeah.
whoop,
20 years ago, man.
That and a popsicle stick, it might work. Oh Lord.
20 years ago, I rubbed out many a 30-second happenings in the shower. So what the hell, right? Thank you for all the memories, Shelly.
No
Lord
problem.
have mercy.
That's what I'm here for.
I thought this was a PG show.
Yeah,
What?
yeah,
What?
Hey, you should have seen it when we had the sex therapist on.
Oh, I can only imagine.
I had to watch that.
Hopefully that was not sitting right next to
what a
each other
disaster that
too.
ended up being. Oh, it was what's her name that used to oh my god, I can't remember her name. She like dated the Miz, I think, for a while down there. Ronnie Jonah. It was Ronnie Jonah was on.
Ronnie Jonah. I haven't heard that name in freaking long. Shout out to Ronnie
like the
Jonah.
first thing Rip said was, "Hey, can you show us your tits?" I was like, what the hell, man?
Ronnie Jonah and Fuji Cake. Shout out to them.
Yeah. Memories. Yeah, they want you to take another shot in the chat.
Oh.
No, you don't have to. You're good. You've got a long day.
Hey, give us an update on you. What's going on? I looked. I think you actually were on our show like in 2022. I think it was. So we haven't talked to you in a while. What do you got new? You got anything new you want to share with the people out there?
No. I got a lot of crazy stuff going on. Long story short, if you want to see what I got going on, just go on the internet and follow me. Just Twitter, ShellyMartinez.net. It's all there.
She's not hiding shit. You know that. Yeah, she's gonna put it out there. So
it's just doing my thing I've just been doing for a long time. This past year was really rough because I've been taking care of a family member, nursing them to health. So that's been a lot. But it's all good. It's just a journey. And if people really want to see what I'm up to, you should guys check out my Vampire Radio podcast. I've been podcasting since 2009. And so I have a lot of content that um, I just kind of just put it all together. I'm like, a lot of people haven't heard this stuff, so I'm putting it out there. So that's the most important thing to me. Vampire Radio, if you want to check it out. I'm really just here because I wanted to hang out with Kevin and you guys. So like I don't really have anything prepared to talk about besides the absent thing. But yeah, if you guys want to check me out, just shellymartinez.net or go on Twitter, Instagram. There's a link in my bio, and everything's nice and organized on there for all of you guys. Whatever you're looking for, sexy content, YouTubes, me talking shit, me smoking, whatever. It's all there.
Nice, thanks.
Heck yeah.
So do you guys have you guys kept in touch? Did I just make a reunion thing happen here? Do you guys keep in touch or?
Not as
you
much
shocked
as we
to see her
should've-
today? Are you
should've.
surprised?
No,
I kept you in the
absolutely
dark.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So
I love Kevin. We throughout the years would be in touch here and there. But something again, because I was talking to my friend last night, something that made me realize that no matter what, Kevin has my back is I had this really, I don't know who's more pathetic, the guy or me for dating him, ex-boyfriend. And Kevin knew that he had cheated on me and he was at a show with him and he asked me if he wanted me to have him beat him up. And I was like, you don't have to beat him up because whatever. He couldn't handle it. But that to me was just like, you know what? Because Kevin and I were just sporadically in contact. So the fact that he like had my back to be like, F that guy, like whatever, that meant so much to me. So Kevin, even though we went through so much in WWE, I mean, but that was so long ago. And like that thing was more of a, even though that was a while ago too, of life after wrestling for me, that meant a lot. Because a lot of people after I was off TV, as you know how it goes, a lot of times people just fall off and they are just like, they kind of don't care about you anymore. And people who you thought were your friends or had your back, once you're not around, they're like, out of sight, out of mind. So that to me is something I always like my vampire heart is touched by because that meant a lot to me. Because you knew I got disrespected. I got disrespected and you're willing to take care of business for me.
And we'll do it anytime you want. I'll fly over to beat the shit out of whoever you need. Trust me.
You hear that, you little puke? You better watch out or Kevin's gonna come beat you up.
Yeah.
He was already telling us about his first fight that he got in. So he sounds like he's willing.
Yeah.
He's definitely big enough. I don't know if you've seen him lately, but he's
I know. Well, the thing is I tuned in to you guys when I was trying to hook up and get on here when you were talking about your headbutt story. And what's so crazy about that is I didn't know all those details. Like, as far as I was concerned, until I just heard your story, was crazy old Kevin 7 got in a fight at the bar.
Yep.
That's what the narrative is out there. So it's really cool that you got to set the record straight right here, and B, I'm glad I know the whole story now because it's like there was more to it, and it was always put out there. Oh, there goes crazy Kevin 7.
Just me and me, but it wasn't really. Yeah.
So here's the thing that makes me look at when you got released that time completely different now, because I thought this whole time you were just like being hot-headed, and then and so now, because here's the thing, something I learned from you, Kevin, was if you want something, you go and effing get it.
Yep.
And I just remember people would goof on you and be like, oh, here comes Kevin 7 wanting his job back. And then I'll never forget when we were gonna go do our thing as vampires together.
Yep.
You're like, I got my job back. And to this day, when there's something I'm striving for, I laugh because in my head, I see you in that moment saying, I got my job back.
Yeah.
And I just like, that has to this day stuck with me about if you want something bad enough, you will find a way. Maybe it won't be exactly how you envisioned it,
Yep.
But just trying will put you on the right path of where you're supposed to be.
Love it. How did you get your job back? I don't think we ever talked about that. How did you get?
I just didn't go away.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't go away. I mean, I was still in Louisville and everything else kept showing up and kept wrestling and kept whatever in and politicking and whatever the fuck else I had to do and got it back. So
What was going on there? Was that NXT at that time or OVW? So it was still OVW at that time? Were you did you do any developmental before you went back? I can't remember.
No, yeah.
You just went right back to TV basically or sci-fi?
No, it was all at OVW for, course of probably six months or whatever. I mean, hell, I was putting over Bobby Lashley every other week and working with some of the guys that they were about to bring up, and that's just kind of what got me there. I knocked Bobby Lashley out.
Did you?
By the way, yeah. You don't remember that?
No, I don't.
It was one punch. He was sliding in the ring, and of course my big meat hooks hit him and knocked him out. And they were so mad because I'm having to kick him to wake him up, and he comes back to it, doesn't know what's going on. I'm like, oh shit! Like, yeah. So it was, yeah. That was another funny one. So,
Hey Shelly, I really hate to put myself over,
but he's going to.
but I've got to show you something here. So there was one point in time where Kevin here was under the hood at OVW.
Oh.
So I hate to show this to you in front of all these people once again, but since you weren't here earlier, I'm going. So that's him in the mask there. This won't take long. That's me right there that he's choking and beating up. Great sell job. Here he is. Look at this move in front of my high school students. I was a teacher at the time. Seemed like a classy move there in front of the kids. Briscoe put it over. But here comes the highlight of the night right here. I might. I just eliminated him.
Best bump I've ever taken.
Just eliminated him. I thought I won for a second, but then your old friend Idle Stevens comes out and puts me out. But I threw Kevin out right there, man.
Let's talk about that Matt Hardy look that you had going on with those pants and that belt.
Wasn't that awesome?
I thought you had a better trainer than that.
These skinny little legs I had, and I was in front of my students, and I remember Rip brought me these like short trunks, and he's like, "Hey, where are these?" I'm like, "There is not a chance in hell I'm putting these things on and going out in front of my students."
Did he not teach you how to put the sock in there? I mean, that's like day two. That's like day 2 in OVW.
Have you seen my legs? You can't hide those except for those pants right there.
Oh, Lord. No.
Pretty impressive, huh?
Shelly's like, I just took another shot of absinthe. I'm fine. Don't worry about me.
Take another shot. Don't mind if I do.
Oh, Jesus.
You guys got anything else, man? We've been on here for.
So who else are talking shit about? CM Punk, Vince McMahon, what?
No, I ain't getting involved in any of it. My name.
No,
is
I'm just kidding.
None.
Me neither.
Yeah,
I'm totally kidding.
I'm not getting involved in all that.
No. You know what? It's not our business.
Yeah, not my business. I'm out.
Yeah, we don't talk shit on this show.
Yeah, never.
We did talk about Vince a little bit last week, but have some a little bit today. We already got you on last time. I already clipped up all your stuff from last time. All your evil things you said about people last time. I already clipped it up and put it out there. So
I'm just kidding. It's just funny that it seems that the culture these days are everyone gets on this, in my opinion, everyone gets on this bandwagon of talking crap, and it almost makes me feel like they're all getting this dopamine hit of gossiping, and then once that wears off, it's on to the next. That's why I don't talk about things that are serious anymore. I won't address them because it just goes away and then it goes on to the next. And that's just the society we live in. And I've learned with my big mouth, sometimes you just gotta let things go, and it's not your battle. So that's how I feel about all that stuff, just for the record, because I know a lot of people ask and blah, 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 but there it is. So leave me alone. Don't tweet me about anything. I don't care.
Think about that, Rip.
What was my statement? The end of a man is always, it's always about a woman.
Oh,
No matter what, the woman's involved.
And don't you ever forget it.
always.
What happened? Well, it was this one woman. What? It's this woman. It's this woman. It's this woman.
Oh, Lord.
God.
All right. On that note, maybe we should wrap this show up today.
Yeah.
Hey, we're gonna end. We got to end with a head bob though. So I want to thank everybody first in the chat for joining us today. All the great questions. A couple super chats for Rip today too. That was awesome. Kevin 7, Mordecai, Kevin Thorn, the Realtor of the Year. Nobody sold more houses in Indianapolis, Indiana. I don't think to this date.
Well,
Ever in the history of the world has sold more houses.
that was a wrestler.
That was a wrestler. Hey,
Let's put that hashtag on there.
Show Shelly your bell real quick.
She's seen my belt.
Oh, come on. Shelly,
No,
it was
not like that.
Yeah, it was so wonderful of you to join us. I really appreciate it.
Do you ever wear just your belt? Naked and you got your belt on.
Unfortunately, at almost 20 years of marriage now, she doesn't want to see anything. She just wants to see the pillow and just go to bed. Like, yeah. So wearing the belt like that does nothing but make her make fun of me.
Maybe it'll entice her. Maybe it'll be like, ooh, remember back in the day?
No. I married someone a lot like Shelly, we'll put it that way, as far as she just tells me like it is. And I think that's another reason why I think we ended up getting along so well, is that Katie and her are like spitting image of each other. So like if they hate you and you know it. If they love you, you know it, and there's no in between. Like, and it's the best thing in the world.
So your wife.
But here's the thing:
you don't put you over at all.
You got to throw some romance for that Katie. She's been putting up with your ass for a long time. You need to put that belt on and give her a good main event night.
Yeah, no, she already texted me. No. So let me go ahead and tell you. No. So yeah.
So what I'm hearing is going to happen tonight. Tonight is the night, is what I'm hearing. The belt goes on tonight. The clothes come off.
Yeah.
You heard it here first, right here on Wrestling with Rip Rogers. Ask Rip Rogers to live. We just made another love connection on this show, Rip. We're on fire, baby.
Yeah. What'd she say? Just bring the hamburgers home.
All right. That's how we do the end. This is Starcade, baby. Look him up, everybody out there. Go support Starcade. We love him here at Rip Rogers Show. Everything about it. Thank you all. Have a good weekend. I'm gonna start drinking. Shelly's got me in the drinking mood. I'm gonna start doing some shots as soon as we get off here.